Well, we are trackside from the now defunct USA International Speedway. You may be saying, why is it not Bowman Gray? Why are we not at a quarter mile? Why are we not at least at a track that is within a stadium? Well, the answer is pretty simple. USA International Speedway is a little bit closer to home than at our night in America. It is Speed Weeks nonetheless, and it will be our unique version of the Clash in 2025. I'm John Ramos. To my right, Jarrett Lumberg, who will be calling the duels in the Florida 500 with me. It's just one of those weekends that you get excited for every single year.
Yeah, I mean, it's Speed Weeks, man. It's the lead-in that we all love having into the Florida 500, and I can't wait for every bit of this. You're already going to see some of the new schemes that are going to be in this big race. You're going to see a lot of the new names that are going to be in e-tickets this year. And then the Florida 500 every year has been such a huge event. It's one of the few events that is, if I'm not mistaken, every single year on the e-ticket docket since the beginning. So I can't wait to see what they're all going to put on the track. And tonight, at such a short track, the difference between the super speedway racing, that drafting racing, and the short track racing, it's going to almost be like racing whiplash this week.
And it's going to be a lot of fun as well, because you have to realize this. NASCAR went to North Wilkesboro, right? Recently, that was a defunct racetrack. USA International Speedway was a huge commodity to Central Florida. You had New Smyrna to the east. You have Auburndale just a little bit to the southwest. But that track didn't have many events. Speedfest, which I did call this year and last year, used to be held at USA International Speedway. Huge crowds, and when iRacing was being made, they scanned this track before it went defunct. This is a track that we went to a lot in 2021 because we would get the high car counts. And just like that, we thought, if NASCAR can have Bowman Gray, we can have USA.
Yeah, and I mean, this was the pride of Lakeland, Florida, I believe. I mean, I've been through Lakeland before, and this would be such a huge centerpiece. And now having it in iRacing too, for so long, it's still a huge centerpiece for us. But I think the real kind of question for tonight and into Speed Week and into Florida, whether it be the duels, whether it be the main race itself, I think is going to be veterans versus newbies. These guys who have been in and winning races in normal NR nights, in community events, in e-tickets, and then these new guys on the block who have been racing really, really competitively and strong against them. Do they come up and spoil the party for some of the fan favorites?
And it's not unlikely, because we saw Riker Byram do that just last year with the Battle of the Beach. Matter of fact, the Battle of the Beach will be live on this YouTube channel tomorrow night at 9 Eastern, 8 Central, a part of Speed Weeks. And you look at it, the e-ticket events have just been veterans. Drivers that win all the time at NR Night in America now showing up and winning. And the question recently was, oh, well, James Thurston win. He's won a lot at NR9. He has yet to win an e-ticket. Same with Joseph Armstrong. Let's not forget the last underdog e-ticket champion, Dean Brummett. 2023 NWP 400. That means we went to open wheel and we saw an open wheel veteran win. We've gone super speedway racing, super speedway veterans. We went to Chicagoland. First time e-ticket winner, but multi-time NR Night in America winner, Michael Mitchum. This is just a huge build-up to that big climax come next Friday.
Yeah, and we've seen so many that have broken through, too. We've seen now Coke Series drivers come in and win e-tickets. We've seen favorites and veterans break through and finally win. Daniel Mosteller had not won an e-ticket event, then wins 2 in a row at Daytona and Talladega. So at this point, it's almost like the underdogs might be due for a win. You don't know who it's going to be just yet.
You never know. Now, this field is full of drivers that are in the Florida 500. We'll be dueling for the Florida 500 this coming Tuesday. We'll also be in tomorrow's Battle of the Beach at New Smyrna with the Gen 4 car. And drivers that just want to have the chance. The drivers that want a chance come Lamar. The chance come the Southern 500, the Alabama 500, to have an opportunity to win an e-ticket event. The only way to really have a chance is win an NR night or show up and show out. Let's go back to Riker Byram, that West Texas driver, not really well known in 2023. He was kind of just there, wins the Battle of the Beach, starts being well loved in the Discord. We can't go an e-ticket without seeing the Whataburger 98. Does that change for someone here tonight? And I think we're going to find out if that's true.
I think we are too, and we're going to go to the track here right now, actually, and find out.
Qualifying underway. Now, the thing about this clash is it's almost like the one we had at LA. We do have heats. We have drivers that are been going for every single opportunity. But guess what? 62 drivers on that entry list, 4 heats. Let's break it down in the simplest way possible. 16 drivers from what we are hearing as of this moment per heat. The top 8 advance to the main event. That's half of the field in every 25 lap heat. After all 4 heats are completed, we'll have a last chance race, the LCQ. The winner of the LCQ will then advance into the main event, making it a 33 car field. You know how many drivers we could have racing in that LCQ for that one spot? Also 25 laps? Take a wild guess of 30. So it's going to be wild. 30 drivers for the 25 laps. That's if no one does go ahead and withdraw, of course. But currently there are 62 on the entry list.
And you know there's going to be that one person who thinks that they can win it from 24th. They got to go now kind of thing. So that's why each part of this, from qualifying to getting your practice laps in to the heats themselves, is so important. You don't want to just basically be screwed in the LCQ because you're like, I could make it. It doesn't matter.
And that's going to be very fun to see. You know, we're going to come back to our studios here in Nashville, Tennessee in just a matter of moments, just making sure everything is good to go on our side inside the session. But yes, I mean, it's going to be interesting. And I think a lot of us are very excited. A lot of us are hopeful for great racing at the end of the day. But you have to keep in mind that there are drivers that know that this is kind of just their shot to get warmed up, get people excited for the e-ticket. And then there's others that are going to be thinking, if I win in a community event, there's no reason why I shouldn't be in Le Mans if I sign up. There's no reason why I shouldn't be in the Southern 500 if I sign up. Lakeland International Speedway, it's defunct. It will be day into night. The heat's in the afternoon. The LCQ at sunset, and then prime time 150 laps under the lights.
Well, John, they've already talked about in practice alone, the track has changed a ton, and it's just going to keep changing as we go from daytime into the evening into the night. And so it's really going to test basically every driver out there and see what they have.
Ever accounts on the racetrack. Here's a driver you're going to get to know a little bit more. Derek Shaver, who wants to be in the next e-ticket. Can he do something great? He's currently 11th. You look really deep in the field. Spencer Burns is yet to qualify. Michael Mitchum is yet to qualify. Marquez Ramos. I think back to actually, I want to say Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach was really interesting because it was like, okay, listen. Community event before the Alabama 500. What's interesting about this? Here are drivers that are in the event. Here are drivers that are not in the event. And some drivers got a top 10, top 15 where he said, okay, let's keep them in mind for the Indiana 500, maybe NWP. So what about today? Vincent Gucci's in the event, but Owen Zenderbaum is not. And Zenderbaum's been getting really good in Enter Night as of recent, currently 16th on the poll.
And that's all you really need to start showing out early on to show that you belong with some of these guys. There's going to be guys that you beat further in the pack that are usually shoo-ins to make these kind of races if you hit top 15, 16, 17. Because I remember with over 60 drivers qualifying, that kind of shows really the power rankings, if you will, of these guys.
Here's William Schmidt. He's 28th. Now, they do have 10 laps to qualify, so 10 laps, 1 minute just over now. Schmitty's going to be a lot of fun to see what he can muster up. Matter of fact, he goes way up the board just from that 28th position he was currently in. Now up to 22nd. He should be able to get enough speed here. This is a brand new setup, and it was not tested by many. Now, usually every Enter Night, we give 20 minutes. Session goes up at 7:40 Eastern, 6:40 Central. So you get 20 minutes to test it out. These drivers have had 25 minutes. We had one test session with it 4 days ago, and that is it. So you're going to see a lot of learning during this race as well. It was not tested at night, so everyone heads in blind for the feature event.
Well, you know what that means? There's going to be a driver or two that just hit clicks. They figure it out. They know what they're going for. They know, like, oh my gosh, I'm 3, 4, 5 tenths faster because they figured something out. And that could be the difference. The quickest to adapt, I think, is going to be the ones that are going to be competing for the win at the end of the night.
How about Cooper Glick? Haven't talked about him. He's on standby towards the backside of the field. He'll be starting deep in his heat. Praviva Jayakumar won't be in the next heat ticket, but we've seen him before. He loves grassroots racing, the Canadian-born driver in 29, Chase Crawl. And just like that, your 4 heats have been set. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lakeland, Florida, and welcome to the 2025 NR Night in America Clash. We have 15 drivers, heat 1, and right off the board, Joseph Armstrong's leading us to green.
I can't say I'm too surprised by that. He's always somebody who runs up front in every event that he enters into, so it's going to be really interesting to see if anyone can come up from the ones we see through this pack and actually compete with him and actually challenge him for the win.
Going to be fun to see. 15 drivers. I look at Spencer Burns. Has to get up inside the top 8. Vincent Gucci already in the top 8. Let's see if he can hold on to it. 25 laps. You have time to work with the moment. Gavin Austin there in 3rd. And this is a precursor. They got 33 drivers to deal with. By the time we go green flag racing, you don't want to be in the LCQ. That is worst case scenario, just because of how things go. And the best part about it, with this being a short track in NR Night in America, caution laps do count. So keep an eye. If you are wrecking a lot, it's going to be tough if you're still back there and trying to make your way to the front.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be on your A game, have your A game. Any mistake can cost you.
Let's get ready to go green flag racing. And we did hear that there was no background audio. There's background audio now. We're ready to go racing. Joseph Armstrong, Matthew White, Gavin Austin, all ready to go green here in just a matter of moments. Zeladon Contreras, they will get the 1 to go this time by, if I'm not mistaken, which means we'll be racing just off the jump.
There's not much buildup on this one. This isn't going to be like a super speedway. You just ride around for a bit, get your bearings. It's like, no, get in, go.
Matthew C. White on the outside. What can he do? He's actually driving a scheme that Chad Thurquist will be racing in the Florida 500. But that Toyota front row is going to be one hot look. We'll get the 1 to go next time by. 2 laps under pacing here on a short track. We got Maximilian Bianco, Vijaya Kumar, Vincent Gucci. Who stands out in this field?
I think for me, looking at Spencer Burns that far.
Really?
He's 11th right now, and it's like, gotta make your way up really early. We know he can be aggressive too, but what does that lead to? John, you know, something for me, whether it's in the sim, whether it is on the track for the Cup Series on down, that I love about these early season races, about Speed Weeks, seeing all the people in their new paint schemes, seeing what they have to offer, and having that, you know, kind of New Year rust shaken off.
Time to find out who's got what it takes. I love it. New schemes, new numbers as well. Joseph Armstrong, 81. Matthew C. White, 67. Let's light the fuse in Speed Weeks as it's dual 1 at USA. White on the outside, hangs on to the quarter panel to turn 3. It's still dead even for the lead.
In the back there, you're seeing someone way up towards the wall, got the camera at this point, and you're just seeing everybody trying to get the most they can early on and starting to line up, and around goes Vijay Kumar in the wall.
As he may have just barely caught it. I don't think he fully went around. Back in 14th, he keeps it straight already. A great save in this event.
Early on in the year, he is on his game with that. Up front, though, the top 5, 6, now everyone getting it single file. That's Burns in 7th. He's the first one looking, while White and Armstrong still fight for the lead.
That was Maximilian Bianco that had that way high move into turn 3. This car is going to change all night long. So the notebook is going to be full of things, and there goes Spencer Burns. He may have had a tap from the 07, gets it back straightened out, maybe not. Slammed in the side, and it's going to bring the caution out for the first time.
I thought he had it, and then he just overcorrected up the track.
Oh, and a huge hit for Jason Beckman in his event 7-14. He is out of his first heat. Oh my goodness, he's going to the LCQ.
Nicely is but a dream.
And Burns, probably not surprising to some, he has had an interesting tenure in NR Night in America.
I told you he was the one to watch, just wasn't for the best reason.
We'll watch back. This is just a lap earlier.
I'm seeing what could have happened here already.
Let's watch the 14. Let's watch the 09. Now, we saw him get deep. So I originally thought it was the 07 of Bianco getting into him. He just slides.
It was weird the way they went both directions, though. Like, was there a net code, maybe?
It may just be a product of the setup as well. Once again, these drivers didn't get much. And Spencer joined the session late.
It just almost looked like it was kind of a revenge, backing up into him. And
well, the good news is we have an opportunity to talk to these drivers. Let's see if we can maybe hear a word from Spencer as run to the yellow flag for the first time in Heat 1. Spencer Burns, John Ramos, you got a copy?
Barely, but I hear you, John.
What happened there in that incident, turn 3?
So, these cars are just absolute bricks to handle at times. They weight shift like crazy. You just can't get a good feel when they weight shift. So I got a little loose off too. The guy behind me self-spun, and I was like, what an idiot self-spinning. But then I was like kind of going back and forth the whole straightaway until I eventually lost it. But you know, no harm, no foul, no damage. And then somebody just full throttled me. What are you gonna do, John? What are you gonna do?
Well, is the car damaged too much? Is it looking good? I mean, you got it back on track, but there's a heap of a hit on the right side. Oh no, that thing is killed.
I think you'll see. I think it's fine. I'm gonna drive it like hell, John. You know me.
I'm gonna let you know now. Your right front isn't moving.
Yeah, that is not moving. That is junked.
I'm moving around the track though.
Okay, well, yeah, all he has to do is get the top 8, right? I mean, Beckman's 4 laps down, he's out. Middleton's already a lap down.
I'm going to be 4 spots away because Pravi's going to pass me. He doesn't have that much damage. He just self-spun into the pits and hit the wall, by the way. So maybe we should focus on that next. But we might have a shot at making it. I think so.
You never know. Lights out this time. Let's go.
Never a dull moment with Spencer Burns.
It's never a dull moment. He always has something to say, and it's usually really funny when he says it. He says, I'm moving around the track. I don't think it's that bad, and we get a perfect camera angle of the right front tire.
We're going to find out right now just how much it moves.
Joseph Armstrong, Matthew C. White have an opportunity to go toe-to-toe. A lot of Toyotas up inside the top 4, maybe even the top 5. They got 3 of them, and all 3 of them are in the top 3. Time to dig in just one more time. We'll work lap 9 out of 25 in Heat 1.
Great restart for Armstrong. He's clear at the jump. It's the rest of the field battling.
He'll hit on Contreras underneath Matthew C. White.
Burns is in the wall. It moved. Not enough.
I just don't think that right front's moving. He may have to bring it back to pit road, but a Toyota Convoy up front has multiple Chevrolets locking up down into turn 3.
And Bianco just overcooked again turns 3 and 4. Lost 2, 3, maybe 4 positions that time. You're seeing the guys on the outside are desperate to try and keep up with those guys inside.
It reminds me of the clash in 2022, I want to say, when every time they went down into the corner, someone would lock up, and it's because they had not too many opportunities to have data on the little bull ring inside the Coliseum. There's little to no data out of any teams minus RGR for this track.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are pretty much the guinea pigs for the rest of the field. Everyone's going to learn from their mistakes. No mistakes for Armstrong, Contreras up front. These two have been the class of the field so far tonight.
I think Vincent Gucci may have had an issue. It's just a blink there out of the, I believe that's the New York Rangers 09, the scheme he will be racing in the Florida 500. Always great to see Yahir Rodriguez back, our driver from Illinois. He's another one that has really worked up his name. I can't think of an e-ticket where we can't have Yahir Rodriguez racing.
Yeah, I mean, he's proven himself, and he just gets better each time.
Fun to see if he can grab that first e-ticket win. You know which e-ticket he continues to tell me he has circled? Indiana 500, another open wheel driver. Him, Zachary True, Akaba Ways, Ikeda Rush. That is the month of May drivers that we'll talk about then, but for Daytona and grassroots racing, it's really going to be about learning and trying to overachieve Leon Contreras has company, but he's starting to lose touch with Joseph Armstrong.
I mean, I know these guys are obviously going to go for the win, but they pretty much, as long as they don't screw it up, have the race in the bag at this point. It's the guys throughout the pack having to make something happen are going to be the interesting ones.
Let's look a little bit deeper. Here's Pavi Vijayakumar. He's in 11th. Spencer Burns, I think he's caught the wall once too many times and was almost parked in front of Joseph Armstrong. They make their way to the outside. They continue going on. Burns just trying to limp it back to the checkered flag. And Contreras may have just had that, whoa, what was that moment? Man, oh man, Joe is going to be talking about that one for a while.
That's going to be like Derek Cope in that one duel at Daytona a few years ago. But up front, he's still getting hounded by White right behind him in that 67. He's moving up the track, making it work throughout the corner, diamonding it, kind of Jeff Gordon style.
I like to mention the Derek Cope reference for 2021 because that one scared the heck out of me as well.
I was there. I remember.
Contreras under fire. Matthew C. White, he's looking both ends. Still 3 Toyotas leading the way. Gavin Austin, who helped with the setup, he's up there in 4th. Vincent Gucci. Let's go to the transfer spot because this is where it's going to get tough. Skylar Comstock, 28. You have Dalton Randolph, 26. Maximilian Bianco. If these two don't figure it out, Randolph will be all over the back end of that 26.
Oh, and Bianco's only back there because of overcooking the corner twice on the restarts. He lost so many positions, and he's had to make his way back out front. That 07 now up into the 7th spot. It's really now Randolph and Comstock, I think, are going to be the ones battling.
Yeah, you see Marquez and Ramos here. I mean, he's way out of the groove there off of turn 2. Dalton Randolph. Yeah, it's going to be 3 drivers under a blanket for that transfer spot. And don't look away from Joseph Armstrong and Contreras. M&M's 92 is still hanging on.
Yeah, I mean, they're right on up there. Armstrong, I think, is a little too strong right now. And White down on the bottom tries to make a move. He's there, bumps him.
Man, Contreras lost all momentum to the center of 3 and 4. White was all over him. Top 3 still under a blanket with 6 to go.
Well, so Contreras definitely gets the entry better. He's aggressively getting down, trying to just keep it on the bottom, whereas White is kind of gentler in there. He's kind of running it like good drivers at Martinsville will run it, and then gets that great exit. Might be able to make a move here. He's right on the bumper.
Here's Skylar Comstock into the inside wall, looking to see who else may have had contact. Randolph there in 8th, Maximilian in 7th. All still moving in the right direction. We stay green, but this is going to be the nail in the coffin for the 26.
Yeah, he's definitely, I mean, damaged for sure, but the battling through the field now, this is more just to set your position as well. So there is importance to making your way up front still for a lot of these guys. This is the battle that's, I think, the most fun to watch right now because it's just a game of chess. You know, John, we've likened racing at times to baseball, where it's like when you watch the battle between a batter and a pitcher, and it goes on for 10, 15, 20 pitches, and you just see the mind games being played. That's what we're seeing right here with 3 laps to go between the 92 and the 67. Just mind games, back and forth.
It used to be like that, very much. Step out, okay, hold on, call time, picture. Maybe wants to quit pitch, maybe wants to take his time. Contreras on corner entry will heave it in one time, and then he'll back it up another and then catch Matthew C. White a little bit off guard. And with 3 laps to go, this could come down to just that last corner move.
White's car is handling great right now. Gets the nudge, moves him out of the way, down low, clears him entering 3.
And Eladom get him back. Too far to the rear. They're going to get the white flag. 1 to go in heat 1 for Joseph Armstrong, but we still watch the move for 2nd.
It's looking like White's going to have it for now. He's got a few car lengths now on Contreras. They're still clear of the field by a lot.
Joseph Armstrong came into this race unknown with this car track combo. He will dominate heat 1 to find victory lane. Should lead us to green when it comes down to the feature event. White 2nd, Contreras 3rd, and how about this one? Dalton Randolph will be coming in the 8th position. It's going to be Marquez Ramos and Skylar Comstock 9th and 8th. Randolph originally was not going to look to be in. Now he is going to be racing for the show.
Yeah, I mean, great run on his part. Stayed out of just enough trouble to make it into the main, and you're going to see those guys that got into it, guys that crashed even under yellow. It hurts.
It's unfortunate. Nothing you can do as of that moment. The LCQ, you better win it because it's going to be very, very tough. Welcome to Heat 2.
Mosteller starting from the front on this heat, and seeing through the field again. A couple more guys that are sort of towards the back that they can make their way up front quickly.
This will be the last one to join. Fashionably late. Alex Addison, I believe that's Cole Wilson as well back there and forth. This is a really big underdog heat. I mean, there's some names that you probably don't know very much if you just watch e-tickets. There's some names in here that, you know, you may question, okay, man, this is going to set an interesting part of the field. Dale Greenwood's in 10th. I expect him to move forward. Cooper Glick, can he do something?
This is, I think, for just in general, a prove it heat.
Yeah.
Prove it. Why should you be in the main for this? Why should you be in an e-ticket? You're going to see a lot of these guys. And I think one or two, every time we do one of these, one or two always surprises us with just how well they race against a pretty good competition.
And I'm excited to see what Brad Gutierrez can do, and here's why. Recently, for the ones that don't know, there's now a small entry fee to enter these e-tickets to cover production costs and just all the purses. So we told these drivers, we can help you find sponsors. Brad Gutierrez got the University of South Florida to cover the fee to run the e-ticket event. That's pretty cool to me.
That is pretty darn cool. Listen, a lot of these stories that you see coming into these races, they get made last second, or it's something completely unlikely you wouldn't think of. This is another one of those great stories of NR.
Yeah, you might be wondering why there's so many Beeman G cars. Beeman G is sponsoring like 4 or 5 cars from the Florida 500 with RGR. So a lot of these drivers went out, became a little bit of an economy side. Mosteller able to get a sponsorship with Barbagallo. And it's going to be really interesting to see what these drivers can do, building a relationship with their new brands at stake, and as well trying to put on a great show for everyone else back in there.
Well, and these kind of races, too, really help strengthen those relationships with brands. You can really get some good press for a lot of new sponsors coming in, and that can then maybe even start carrying it through the year.
Including running the community events, where right now we have 200 watching back at home here for heat number 2. And that's the same car you're going to run for the duels and maybe even the Florida 500. You're probably going to come back on for Le Mans.
Yeah.
Heat 2 underway. Ever accounts on the outside. Mosteller down low. Matt Green from USA. Looks like almost no effort, finds his way off turn 2 and gets a nice lead over second.
Picking up right where he left off last year through the pack, though. You're seeing this battle already. Addison looking low early on, doesn't get much out of it, but you're already seeing, I think, a pattern. The leader on the bottom getting a good restart, and the rest of the field figuring out. We got just a scrum through here, though.
Drivers, look at that, Matt Grab. Dale Greenwood, lock up Bryson Bird, Keith Ingram. And this is an opportunity for Keith Ingram. He says, hey, how can I make an e-ticket event? When can I make an e-ticket event? Make the show in the community events. This is the opportunity at hand. Mosteller's ahead already by half a second with 23 laps to go. It's going to be a dogfight to see who gets inside the top 8.
Yeah, you're already seeing the contact behind this 84 car of Gutierrez. It's the rest of these guys back there. They got to make their way up past him somehow, but they keep just running each other over.
Pushing, shoving. Tobias Matheson, the driver from New Smyrna, Florida. With Brad Gutierrez just on his heels behind still Joey Beck. Matt Grab, he's going to watch these two. A lot of lockups with that left front. That's what drivers got to get used to throughout the night.
And you're seeing that 53 of Grab, he was able to make it spin in the back, single car spin, he gets it rolling.
Anderson Crawley making his first community event attempt in NR Night in America. This is the race for 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
Yeah, these guys really being orderly so far, racing pretty clean amongst each other. It's really this battle for the transfers, 7th on back. They're the ones that are almost demolition derbying.
Brad Gutierrez, prove that you deserve that spot for the e-ticket event. He'll be running the duels this Tuesday. But you know what's great about these drivers? Everyone has a story. I think I say that a lot, but then you find more stories about drivers that you may not have known. Daniel Mosteller, a sim racer at heart. Races all the time. very well known in the community, arguably the most popular driver. Him and Braden Muddick for just the most well-known driver. You know his grandfather used to race?
I did not.
Oh, no. Yeah. We're going to be talking about this and the duels and the 4 to 500 as well. Might as well we have the opportunity. His grandfather raced at Hickory. His grandfather went over the wall at Hickory and landed in a tree. It gets even crazier. One of the branches hit him in the eye. Yeah. Can you believe that?
No. If you didn't have somebody who could verify that like you do, I wouldn't believe you.
Insane. And he was telling me this story earlier today. I'm like, why are you just now telling me this? I could have used that for anything. And it was unbelievable. There's a rumor that his great-grandfather was also in the first North Wilkesboro race. I mean, there is a lot of deep diving that we'll hopefully get confirmation from by the time the duels are in the 4 to 500 comes around. But hey, just because Mose is a sim racer doesn't mean there's not racing in that family.
Oh, there's racing in his blood, and he's shown it. There's some movement through the field already. And you're seeing, again, you overcook that corner, you get pushed a little, you get pushed up into the wall, and Addison's going to fall back to 7th now. Gutierrez gets by. He's almost safe. It's Grab and Bird now, the battle.
Yeah, Tobias Matheson just shunted the move for Gavin Addison. Here's Matt Grab in the 8th position, Bryson Bird in 22. Joe Logano fan, we know Frank Corley, we run in the 22 for the 4 to 500. Dale Greenwood, there he is in that 08. You expect him to do great things, but that left front damage is really struggling to help that car rotate through the center.
Yeah, he's got to hope these guys up in front of him have some kind of issue, because he's got to make something happen quick. Make up about 7/10 of a second. Something does happen. Is that Addison up in the wall?
It is, but he does go ahead and bring it to pit road right away. That hurts Matt Grab because he keeps it forward. No caution with 14 to go.
And Greenwood is now up in the 8th spot. He's got maybe 5/10 of a second between himself and Ingram. The field is starting to spread out a little bit with that happening.
I'm surprised, man. With the hit up there, I don't think he was out of the race either. He was out of the groove. The caution was going to come out. Doesn't happen. Matt Grab gets it backfired. And I think that's just going to be worst case scenario. That puts Keith Ingram into 9th. That puts Joey Beck back to 10th. I'm not saying it's over because Dale Greenwood's left front damage. Look at how much of a lockup he has in the turn 1.
Well, and you're seeing Ingram starting to make up a little bit. He's 0.6 of a second back. And he's got to make something happen. He's got a lot of damage as well, though.
Yeah, all these drivers, they've gotten into each other so many times. I mean, the first 3 or 4 laps, it was push come to shove.
With 11 to go, coming to 10 to go soon. There's not really much time to start making it up when you don't have that kind of closeness of a restart to just pounce on something.
You're not expecting much for Everett Krautz as of this moment just because of how things have been consistently. I mean, lap for lap, you see it on the bottom of your screen. Cooper Glick 05 already what looks to be a couple laps down. Cole Wilson, I mean, up to 3rd. Okay, that's something really surprising. Derek Shaver up in 4th. Tobias Matheson, he's in 5th right now. He's had to use the muscle a little bit. With 10 laps to go, you just want to be in the top 8. And for Dale Greenwood, can you hang on just long enough to make it work?
And we talked about it when we were starting this thing up. This is the race that people are going to prove themselves, or they're going to make mistakes and prove why they are an underdog heading in here. We've seen both happen so far.
Multiple heats. This is heat 2 of 4. Brad Gutierrez, he's 6. We have a damage, and now one stop way to the outside. That may have been Seth Mosby, should we say it was, but another one that brings the right to pit road.
And John, we need to go back to that battle for 8th. They're closing in a little bit, about 4/10, give or take. I mean, might not be over for Ingram. He's catching him up quick. And look at Grab. He's making his way back up.
Gets right to the inside there with Joey Beck.
He's got to use the bumper. He's got to make it happen now, though. And he's going to muscle him out of the way out of 4. 7 to go.
Joey Beck got absolutely used there into turn 3. You saw his mistake on entry. Matt Grab, I don't think it's over yet for 53. He's got a shot on Ingram.
Nah, he got loose out of the corner. He got up into the wall, and he is not going to get any quarter from that 77.
He's going to have to deal with Joey Beck again. That will delay the move to the front. Greenwood, Ingram, that's going to be the fight. Grab Joey Beck. Just there as of this moment, if something goes wrong For Everett Kraut's biggest move he has made, 2/10 off Mosteller just in that corner alone.
Grab got past him, but that mistake, I think, is what's going to cost him any shot of getting past the two ahead of him. Now 6/10 between the 08 and 01.
Once again, 62 drivers on the entry list. 33 will start the feature. We'll have 30 drivers for the LCQ. You're watching heat 2 of 4. We got 2 more to go. Later tonight, Joey Beck, there he is. Continue to watch him. He's back at 11th. Cooper Glick already 1 lap down. Back in the 12th position. And we knew when Mosteller took off in a 1 and 2 on lap 1, it was going to be tough to catch him. But this is going to be a new battle. What about Greenwood? He's pulled away, but Keith Ingram will be under fire. Matt Grab in the 10th position.
Grab's got to make it happen now if he has any shot, and this shot is quickly now slipping away, and he's not able to get to him. Only 3 laps to make it happen, but that's not the problem. It's the fact that he is a 1.5 seconds back.
Dale Greenwood, just trying to be one of the last drivers to make the show. It's not about how you start, it's about where you finish. And right now, you see the fights for 9th, 10th, and 11th. 2 laps to go for Daniel Mosteller.
Well, the important part, these guys who are making up positions that are in right now, yeah, that helps them because they start further up the field. The guys out, that helps them because they start further up in the LCQ.
White flag, 1 lap to go here in Heat 2, and already we're looking at a great fast 4, should we say. Joseph Armstrong, Daniel Mosteller. Who will be the winner in Heat 3 and Heat 4 to start up inside the top 4? We're going to find out, but already a super lineup to lead him to green.
Yeah, already as he comes around this time out, he is far and away.
Daniel Mosteller wins Heat 2 at USA International. It will be Everett Krauts for 2nd. Dale Greenwood will be the final driver to make the transfer as 9th, 10th, and 11th head to the LCQ. 2 up, 2 down already in the books. We still got a pretty good bit of race left to go. So, okay, we had a pretty sizable great Heat 1, an underdog Heat 2, Heat 3, Heat 4. What is that to offer? That's going to be the big question.
Well, what I'm waiting for is that heat that somebody on the start or on a restart just takes it 3 wide on the bottom. We've seen so many up front get that good launch, but if somebody in 3rd can get the launch right behind them, it'd be really interesting heading into 1.
Look at this heat. Frank DeAngelis, that's going to be one to watch. James Bomar, I'm excited to see what he can do. Tyler Clare's our short track guy. Aiden Walker, East Tennessee. Jeff Perchatsky, time to prove something. Matthew Brower, Chase Crawl, Josh Lilly. Okay, this is a way more star-studded heat than there was in heat number 2. And I think it's going to be interesting because look at anyone for 15th. Michael Mitchum having to start him back into the 15th position. He's not going to be there long. I think we're going to see a lot of comers and goers, and I'm going to predict this is going to be heat of the night.
Would you say most yellows of the heats tonight?
Oh, yeah, for sure. There's no way this sticks around to go caution-free. Tyler Clare is going to have his hands full. That's what's going to be really, really exciting. The Clash in NR Night in America originally started in 2022 at the LA Coliseum, brought back for 2023 out west. People say, do we go back to the quarter mile? They're not there anymore. We questioned, was Bowman Gray going to come in? Never came. So why don't we do something unique? USA International is going to allow 33 drivers for 150 laps as a feature. Let's get ready to try it all again. Tyler Clare, James Bomar, love Bomar's new scheme. Both him and DeAngelis will be running those schemes for the 4 to 500.
Does not surprise me at all that Frank is in a front machine.
No, does not surprise us at all.
Plenty of personality.
And that's how it usually goes. Josh Lilly, unfortunately, will not be making this year's 4 to 500 due to scheduling conflicts. Excited for Le Mans, nonetheless. 2 by 2, they work their way through the restart zone. Let's light the fuse in Heat 3. Wide, that's Lane Sanders quickly putting it to work there with what could be a move. Perchatsky already into the outside wall. Believe he was 3 wide with Christian Delgado, and the caution will wave right away.
Hey, called it. It is going to be the wild one.
Lane Sanders and a Jamie McMurray throwback. I believe that's his win from Talladega in 2013. Sanders was in attendance for that race. He's also an Auburn fan. And not what you wanted to see at all.
No, but let's see how it happened. We saw it was 3 wide from the get-go.
And this is on the initial start. Christian Delgado on the HVTV machine. Nice throwback, definitely pretty reminiscent of that car that won back in 2013. I believe that was the race Austin Dillon almost went into the catch fence off turn 2.
Yep.
No, had nothing to do with it. Delgado got help from behind. Sanders went 3 wide. Lombard went right up towards the outside wall, got a piece of it, and it all started with Jason Hall.
Better call Saul because he was innocent in that one. He had nowhere to go.
Jason as well. He saw how deep he got in there. So it gets into the back end, and the caution will wave for the first time. Let's go ahead and speak with some drivers in just a matter of moments. Jeff Perchatsky, unfortunately, involved in the incident, still running around the track. And we get to see, you know what, who should we speak to? This is an opportunity to talk to you guys. We could talk to Most, who just won that heat. Or we could talk to Lane Sanders, who will have a great opinion. I think we got to talk to Lane Sanders. Sanders, John Ramos already very bold on the initial start.
Yeah, I went with the green flag. Saw the green. Christian, I guess I caught him sleeping. I went. I didn't pass him before the green flag, so that was fair play. I was on the replay. I was all the way on the yellow line. There wasn't really anything else I could do.
Gotta ask you this. Okay, with everything that just went on in that moment, what is the chat like, the voice chat in the sim currently?
Well, we had somebody get kicked before the call. We were all pretty confused about that. Other than that, it's just been pretty quiet.
Why? Okay. For now.
It's like Duel 1 was very tense because Pravi was really mad at that one guy. I can't remember who it was.
Was it Spencer Burns?
I don't think it was Spencer Burns. Spencer Burns was just doing his own thing.
All right, we're going to get ready for a restart here. Good luck.
Thank you, John.
That's Lane Sanders. So, okay, everyone's still pretty calm about it. No issues. We know short track tempers are going to flare tonight. And it's going to flare tomorrow. And then it'll probably flare on Tuesday, but on a super speedway. So it's going to be interesting how that all rolls out. Perchatsky gets the car back rolling. He's 2 by 2 as we enter back to the restart zone.
Wait. Hitting it now, and Walker is out and away right off the bat.
Very quick to a 2. James Beaumont toe-to-toe. Ty Leclerc. No real push from Leclerc in 60. Beaumont will go to second. This time most get through, but Sanders, who's now slow off turn 2.
It was still a little bit more orderly. We'll get back around to complete a lap this time under green. And still a little racy. We knew going into this one it was going to be the crazy one of the night. And I think that Sanders having even more problems back there.
You see Delgado's back there in 8th. Currently the final driver to possibly make the transfer. Who we just saw Frank DeAngelis toe-to-toe. That is with the Josh Lilly 97. Just behind them, Matthew Brower in 1. This is going to be a cell that brings drivers 7th, 8th, and maybe even 9th a little closer in. But Adam Walker, the pride and joy of this field, leading it back off turn 2.
Yeah, Frank sent it in there, made it stick. That's why he's gotten clear and away. But yeah, these other guys are catching up and catching up quick. It's not spreading out right off the bat the way that the other heats were.
Eric Lombard, you saw him involved in that incident.
Brawl flew down the racetrack there.
He's able to hold on for now, but look at this. Arez and Lombard will be with him. That is for 8th currently as Christian Delgado found his way through.
Yeah, so he is in the transfer. I am feeling a little muscle might have been used on that one, if not maybe handling, but the battle continues on behind him, trying to get up and challenge him for well into the transfer.
Here's Jason Hall, Jeff Perchatsky. We're looking at the damage on Perchatsky. He's lucky the entire left front suspension didn't bend out. Well, the left rear suspension is very bent up because that car looks like it has moved at least 3 inches to, I want to say maybe the left or the right, depending on which angle you're looking at.
Oh, and I think is that
Jason Hall.
Yeah, it just self-spun off the corner, keeps it going, no caution. And hey, that car might be destroyed, but he's wheeling it up there.
It's turning pretty well. Look at that left rear. I mean, he pancaked the outside wall. There's no softball here. That's all concrete, and was easily able to find his way through Andres Vades without a problem.
Just make it up to that 88 car.
Eric Lambert will be in 9th. There's Jason Hall again, inside wall. As James Bomar has lost touch with Aiden Walker. We saw domination in Heat 1, domination in Heat 2. But the thing is, these are the heats. If the dominant drivers are going to start up front in the main event, that's where it's going to be interesting. There's already star-studded top 2. Aiden Walker wants to make it a star-studded top 3.
Yeah, and he's doing really well so far, about 8 tenths, 7 tenths ahead of the field. Top 4 have kind of just checked out, doing their own thing. The battle was really from Lilly on back.
Josh Lilly, winner of actually a racing speed weeks last year, the Daytona 2.4. Got his name going. Okay, hey, he won the truck class. It was a great finish. And started joining every heat ticket really after that. Really unfortunate that we can't see this Red Bull in the 4 to 500 this year. Currently sitting in the 5th position. We do have a fight that's for 6th and 7th. Will be Matthew Brower, Christian Delgado, Chase Crawl. I don't think he's out of the woodwork just yet. And Bombard is there sitting in 9th.
Yeah, that 88 is playing defense right now, just trying to figure out which way you can stay ahead again. It's another one of those battles right on the cut line, back and forth, that chess match.
You don't want to be in the LCQ. I just cannot say that enough, because 8 drivers out of 15 is easier to make than 1 driver out of what could be 30, depending on who can't get their car fixed, who has internet issues. Realistically, even if it's 25, it is insanely difficult to make the show with the odds at stake.
Well, you know there's going to be that one guy that wants to be a hero. You don't want to, be him, but be at the mercy of him as well.
Ty Leclerc. Oh, he's going to really get a big picking on Bomar. Didn't go for the lunge to the inside. Bomar already had that covered at turn 3. This car is really tough over the bumps. That's what we're starting to see. That turn 2 bump is very tough. Leclerc's going to have an entry move, toe-to-toe. I would remember the name Ty Leclerc for the feature event. He is really holding stout on the bottom.
Yeah, did a really good job setting up Bomar. Now has the entry again. Bomar going to cook it in. And that 60 car cannot clear. They're going to remain side by side, at least on the exit. But it looks like he's got the position entering 1.
Yeah, he was way too wide off exit as well there in turn 4. Forced to downshift. Remember that. They're going to continue to downshift during this race as well. 5 gears on these next gens. Very quiet out of Freight DeAngelis as of this moment, but the nighttime will bring them all together. Lilly, Brower, Delgado, 6th and 7th. You don't want anything to go wrong with those 2. And for Chase Crawl, he feels like he's in no man's land. I want to say maybe 8 car lengths the difference between him and Lambert.
Yeah, but he has started to extend that lead over that 5 machine right now. He is just putting together good laps, coming to 5 laps left.
I would say this early on with Jeff Prochaski right now being projected ahead to the LCQ. He's going to be fun to watch when they get in the scar fix. Just around that sunset area, he's going to be up front. He should be a hot commodity to go win it. He's never won a race in NR9 in America, let alone a duel or an LCQ. Last time we had the clash, the winner of the clash won the LCQ, that being Gavin Austin.
So it's never over. That is the lesson you have to hear from it. It is never over until it's over.
Not at all. He got it done with style. Leclerc closes in on Walker, just about 7 or 8 tenths, what was just over a second advantage. Coming to 3 laps to go. We're really setting up the top 3, top 4, top 6 as the really great group of machines. And that's what gets me really excited for the nighttime portion of the clash.
Yeah, I mean, they've been putting on a clinic so far in this race. Leclerc has been the one that's, I think, had the best setup for a pass so far tonight, even with that right front damage.
And it's interesting how, I mean, at least what I've seen in the last 2 or 3 heats, the drivers with damage are somehow rotating better than the drivers without damage.
I mean, maybe there's something to it. I don't know. I'm just saying. Maybe they
Or just a
it out.
coincidence?
Well, I mean, we've seen that all the time through NASCAR history. Remember in 2014 where they flare out the back of the side skirts? I mean, just little things like that you find out as you go.
Leclerc has really made up time. He's going to get the white flag this time with Aiden Walker. Look at that makeup on the bottom of your screen. Him and Walker are going to be really tight-knit come the main event.
Yeah, he might not win this event, might just run out of time, but when it comes to the main, whew, watch out.
Hayden Walker off turn 4 will come to see the checkered flag. Will start 3rd in the feature, but wins Heat 3 at USA. Chase Kroll will come off turn 4 to be the final driver to transfer. Jem Perchatsky for a better starting spot in the LCQ. Won't get it done. Eric Lombard will, as of this moment, be projected as 3rd starting spot in the LCQ. That was going to be a very important spot because of how many drivers they have. This could put Perchatsky back to 6th.
Yeah, and he's going to be somebody strong. We've seen with all that damage he has. A clean 48 could be a dangerous 48.
Oh, yeah. How many times have we seen the 48 be really good?
Yeah, trust me.
For years growing up.
I lived through the 2000s. That was all I saw.
I'm excited for this lineup. Sean Rowe, Douglas Newbigging. Got a couple dirt boys racing in there. Josh Kenyon, West Texas finest, Riker Byram. The closer, William Schmidt. Stout duel, or should we say heat, for the final heat of the night. That being Heat 4. Richard Cheery, Zenderbaum, prove it moment. Murphy, Rowe, I think Sean Rowe's going to do pretty well. Goody, Stoller, and all these other guys behind with Smitey, Buys, Singer, and Carson Freeman. John Singer, brand new driver to enter Night in America. What can he do?
You know what he can do? He can try and prove himself tonight. Why he belongs in NR Night in America.
Doug Newbigging, he debuted his scheme actually at the Great American 500. He said, should I bring it back for the Florida 500? I said, if you don't, I'm going to be really angry.
It's beautiful at night. It's reminiscent of the old 2000s Jeff Gordon Nicorette scheme. I remember seeing that at Chicagoland in the night race one year, and that thing glowed in the dark. Wow.
That's awesome. Great thing about the duels this year for the Florida 500 will be ran at night, unlike the NWP that's ran in the day. It's almost a complete 360 how we do NWP duels versus Florida 500 duels. Florida 500, the starting lineup for Duel 1 and Duel 2 are based off of what duel you choose and how many wins you have in NR9. For NWP, single car qualifying.
Yeah, just every single e-ticket event and everything leading up to them, so unique, and it tests the drivers through the whole year. It's why we're keeping track more this year of how each driver is.
Fun indeed, exciting indeed. Welcome to Heat 4. Top 8 advance, everyone else goes home. Sean Rowe, Douglas Newbigging. It's going to be tough to see who can really stretch out if they can, but it's going to be Toyota Chevrolet leading us to the green. Final 8 drivers to transfer before the LCQ.
And an even start this time, entering into turn 1. Nobody got the advantage. Rowe getting the edge off the corner. Newbigging going to stay with them. Entering 3 and 4, they're going to keep battling.
Wow, did not get an advantage like you saw before. Riker Byram around off the nose of the 21. A hit from the 91 as well. And for what could be the 3rd time, a caution in a duel, or should I say a heat, before lap 5.
Well, and that takes out a big player too. I mean, it wasn't like he was just stranded deep in the field, but after a couple laps, did not get off of that high side and paid dearly for it.
Let's watch back again. Actually, let's go a little bit further back. This is down the backstretch. And that 21, Richard Cheery just did not turn for turn 3.
I think he got tied up with that 97. Like, if we could see a different view of that, I think he got tied up a little bit entering the corner.
Center bomb in 97 on the outside. Let's see, this is going to be the best view because you can see how they break from the backstretch. I mean, he's sending a heat. I mean, he locked up the left front as well.
Yeah, I mean, he just cooked it into the corner. And, well, that Whataburger car got cooked as well.
Oof. Huge hit. Goes right into him, Riker Byram. Is he done? Oh, he just got up. We missed something. We missed something, didn't we? Oh, yes, we did.
Yeah, we did.
And there's the short track tempers we have been looking for all night long.
there's your Bowman Gray of the night.
Some in agreement, some in disagreement, and I think this went off for a little while. Let's watch back on with the Riker Byram 98.
Oh, he tracked him down, hits him once, comes out of the corner, hits him again, and then hits him a third time and completely destroys the front of that 21.
Well, you know, it's great we can hear what Riker Byram is thinking in that moment. And once again, these community events, it's big for Byram. He's a community event winner. You want to win. You don't want to go to the LCQ. Byram, John Ramos, how are you?
Well, I was doing all right, but not so much anymore.
Well, I think you had to pay the price there and what happened. And break down what exactly transcribed in turn 3.
Well, I guess Buddy thought he was going to win the race on lap 1 or something like that. So, you know, I don't ever get that mad at people. So, you know, it's pretty pathetic when you do that to me. Very, very pathetic. So,
is the race over, or is it something that you could possibly salvage for a top 8?
oh no, it was destroyed the moment I got into that wreck. So it'll be an LCQ for sure. Because I'm sitting here. There's so much damage. There's no way I can get it fixed to get back out there and get a transfer position. There's no way.
I think you're gonna have a lot of people rooting for you come the LCQ. Some are saying we're not gonna see tempers tonight. It's not a quarter mile, and I think you just won the hearts of many.
Well, hopefully that'll show people what kind of driver he is. That's for sure. So.
Riker Byram, you see him in the LCQ driving that number 98.
Another one, never a dull moment with Riker Byram.
Him, Frank DeAngelis, and they're all friends as well. They're all going to Daytona together, by the way, for the 500 weekend.
And you know what they're going to all be doing? Watching the end of this race.
They are. 19 laps to go from USA.
There's the jump we've seen through the night. Rowe gets away. But it's a lot more racing through the field still. Battle for second with New Bigging. Kenyon side by side with Schmidt getting involved.
Schmidt really put the heave in there as well. It is the NR Night in America class. Drivers are going to put more on the line. Murphy is there, some out of the groove up top. But the battle still is on for that second, third position.
Yeah, and they are racing hard because they know that this means you're starting up towards the front. We see one just wall riding it back there a little bit.
That's Sean Singer.
Maybe not intentionally as he's falling way behind. Contact into the wall there. I believe that's Murphy.
Connor Murphy. Harry Steller. Newcomer to NR Night in America as well. Has to make the top 8. That's what he's looking for. William Schmidt up there in fourth, and Sean Rowe has checked out to a half a second lead over Josh Kenyon.
Well, and you see in the scrum now, 4 cars, give or take, battling for 7th through 10th. And that's going to be the battle to make it either to the LCQ if you fail or the main event.
You are watching the NR Night in America clash at USA. That's right, USA International Speedway. No Bowman Gray on iRacing yet. Let's talk about some tracks that are originally going to be added in. I talked to some drivers. Okay, how about we go to Slinger? You know what they all said? We need to do a drug test. I want to point out, don't do drug. They said that was absolutely crazy. I was like, okay, what about the bull ring in Las Vegas? Nah, it's not going to work. That's not going to work well. Do we go back to the LA clash? No, I think it's done its job, doing what it needs to do. Okay, let's do NR Night style of a clash, USA. And guess what? All their ears perked up. They're all seem to be very excited about it. I think we still are in for a pretty big treat come the main event, but it's definitely a different style, and we could have also done it at Daytona.
Yeah, well, either way, there's going to be a lot of racing for that transfer spot, and they are under a blanket, 3 of them back there, all over each other.
Zenderbaum in 9th, there's Carson Freeman in 8th, and Jackson By said thank you very much to the 7th position.
That's the pass for the spot. We just saw it.
But is Carson Freeman done? Elaine Sanders' paint scheme that he's running.
He's falling back now. And again, all you have to do if you make it in that top 8, just run clean laps. Don't get run over, hopefully. Just run clean laps and don't make a mistake.
We all hope to have you all for the entirety of Speed Weeks tomorrow at 9 Eastern, 8 Central. We have the Battle of the Beach at New Smyrna Speedway. Tuesday, the duels at Daytona for the Florida 500, and then just a week from today, that will be February 7th at Daytona for the 26 e-ticket event, the Florida 500.
It's going to be a really, really fun night, coming now to 10 laps left before the LCQ.
Well, Sean Rowe is dominating just like Aiden Walker did, just like Mosteller did, and just like Joseph Armstrong did. The short track drivers came alive in their respected heats. When the lights shine bright here in Lakeland, we're going to see which one could be the best of 33. 9 to go this time. We're still looking a little bit deeper on Freeman, Singer, Zenderbaum. Zenderbaum and Buys, they're going to be fighting for position. But that LCQ is going to be a big old brace. Carson Freeman just wanting to get in now and hoping for a mistake at a 7th and 8th.
Yeah, he's hoping that one of those guys gets into each other too hard and flies up the racetrack right out of the way. They're battling for position. He's trying different lines behind him, but nothing is really working so far.
I think it's also in the idea of, okay, I can move this guy, right? And he can move me back. But is that going to allow 9th to close in? Is that going to allow John Singer and 10th to close in? I mean, that's something you have to think about. Like, if you can pass the guy, obviously you have the opportunity to daylight, go for it. But Jackson Bias, I guarantee you, used the bumper to him. He's probably going to use it back. And looking at the nose of that Subway 33, wouldn't be surprised if it's already been done tonight.
Yeah, but again, you can make up some spots if you make those positions up. And starting further up will help you in this race. Track position is paramount. He makes the move down low. Not going to happen just yet. Yes, it is. He's got the spot.
And Jackson Bias will drop on back. Owen Zenderbaum up to 7th.
Buys has a second, maybe a little under a second gap back to Freeman. So if he just runs some good laps, doesn't make a mistake, he should be good to go. That can be asking a lot in these races.
Here's the fight for second. William Schmidt, Josh Kenny. Now you may be saying, if they're already in the show, why don't they just have a parade, wave at the fans for the next 5 laps and call it a day? Well, it's not like the duels where every spot is a row. With there being 4 heats, it's every other row that you're basically going up. And for William Schmidt, as Jared mentioned just about a lap and a half ago, you want that track position, including on this short track. You don't want to be in the grand scheme of all that energy where if something goes wrong, maybe 2 or 3 rows in front of you, there's nowhere to go.
Yeah, we've seen it tonight. These guys in the middle of the pack are the ones getting wrecked, the ones that fall back into that scrum. You want to be ahead of it, and each of these positions is so important to do that.
Schmidt's really applying the pressure.
He's got the faster car. It's just a matter of finding the opening underneath Kenyon.
He looked bottom that time by. As Sean Rose says, I'm going to lead this field as much as I can. Douglas Newbiggie, we thought he was going to be the big commodity to fight for the lead with Sean Rowe. He's back to 4th. That is still on for 2nd. Schmidt knows if he can get in front of Kenyon, he should be able to this time by, and it will be a net gain come the nighttime.
Rowe, though, flying away from this field. 2.5 seconds at the white.
1 to go for Sean Rowe.
And he has got this thing on lock. The real battles between Kenyon and Schmidt, who are 2.5+ seconds back. Smoke not going to affect any of the transfer guys, though.
I believe that was for John Singer. Sean Rowe dominates Heat 4. He will start in the Fast 4 for the feature event. Josh Kenyon will come home 2nd. Who transfers? Jackson Buys. Owen Zenderbaum will make the show. Carson Freeman and others will head to the LCQ.
And we are off to the LCQ now.
We're off to the LCQ, that's it. All right, we have 32 drivers already great and ready for the clash. Now, we need to know what that final driver is going to be.
Oh boy.
It's gonna be fun to watch. I think let's be honest, Jared. We've called a lot of LCQs together, NWP. It's been interesting, great calls. The Duke crew making the show. Do we have one of those magical moments with what we have? Oh my goodness, we're talking 30 strong in this field.
Well, I'll say this. It ain't gonna be clean.
No.
If they make it caution free, I will be as surprised as anyone in America about that. And anyone in the world, in this solar system, you name it. Like, if I had to put money on the over-under of 0.5, I would be destroying the over button.
LCQ is ready to go on. Winner take all. Keith Ingram, Marquez Ramos, Lambombard, Freeman, Comstock, Beck, Berchatsky. Berchatsky's gonna have to go from 7th. We always do picks. I'm gonna say my pick. Jeff Berchatsky sitting there in 7th. I think it's possible.
I think so as well. He showed the most speed when it came to just, honestly, a damaged car out there. So I don't see why he couldn't, with a non-damaged car, as long as nothing happens, make his way up front.
Let's see what he's got. Once again, the Florida 500 will be live a week from today, the 26 e-ticket event. What a great crowd at home for this grassroots racing. The clash for NR Night in America. The lights are on, the sun is setting. We're just moments away from the LCQ, moments away from the feature event following. We're going to find out who that final driver is to make the show. Freeman, Comstock, Joey Beck. Joey Beck's going to be fun to watch.
You know, it's going to be fun to watch. I pointed him out in his heat. Spencer Burns, 13th in the field. He's got to make a miracle happen.
Vades, Cooper Glick. What do you have to offer? 2x2, they work their way down the backstretch. The crowd gets on their feet. You know what the drivers tell me that make it? They look forward to the LCQ more than anything because it's always entertaining.
Well, and I think that the key here for these guys up front in the front row, one of them gets the lead, run. Because you are going to have a snarling pack come after you, and they're coming after you now.
Chevy versus Ford. Ramos, Ingram, and 30 others. This is the LCQ for the iRacing NR Night in America clash.
He got the jump that time, 3 and 4 wide behind him, and around goes Freeman.
Up near the outside wall, will get a jam. Can he get it back rolling in the right direction? Right front damage, he does bring it to pit road. Ingram gets smooth, that's by Ramos.
And Comstock is going to take the lead out of it. They're still wrecking.
That's Ingram around. Jody around. They're able to keep it moving. This is relaxed. Yellow's on.
And Berchatsky making his way up, battling for 4th already.
That's with Joey Beck. And Joey Beck already proved that he's willing to move tonight. Matter of fact, he gives a shot to Ramos. And Beck goes sideways. Can he save it? He does not. That will bring the caution out for the first time. Riker Byram may have had a piece of it. Old John Singer involved as well.
Riker Byram had a lot of pieces of that one. He had a guard to spin right in front of him. You see that right front has some damage.
I'm going to be honest, it could have been a lot worse.
Could have been a lot better too.
Just right smack middle of the field. We knew it was going to be wild. Let's not act like we didn't know it was going to be wild. But did we know it was going to be this wild? Let's look back on it all. Start of the race, Carson Freeman gets moved by Joey Beck. I mean, just heaved it on in.
Looks like he's good until he wasn't.
Got a slam in the back lane. Sanders muscling Nevada's.
Up front.
Keith Ingram, did he get help or did he just come down? I think he just came down. No room there to Ramos. We're not done because Comstock says, okay, I'll take it. The driver's back there going around as well with the 18. Was it over?
No.
Not even close.
No.
Here's Joey Beck. Another heave for him. Jeff Berchatsky said, you're done.
Yeah, no prisoners, damaged again.
I'm going to be honest. I don't think Riker Byram got a piece of it in that wreck. Look back again.
He might have gotten that damage earlier on. I got a little bit.
I mean, just a tad, but come on. I think he's got to be happy now.
Pretty good luck. He's up to the 7th spot now.
All right, things have already gone bold. Spencer Burns already out of the race. Carson Freeman 5 laps down. Eric Lombard, Marquez Ramos. And I think Joey Beck's move, or what Prochaska just did to Joey Beck, was like, okay, you're going to be moving guys. We got to move you out of the way, too.
Well, take no prisoners. It's winner take all. It's just
there's
top 2 or 3 guys make it. And yeah, sure, we can race a little nicer up towards the front, but that's not the case.
We're here. Burns will be on the lead lap, most likely by the time we take the green flag, if not already just 1 lap down. He went to go ahead and pit start. Some people are probably asking, okay, well, why are you saying his last name as Marquez Ramos instead of just Ramos? Well, for the ones that don't know, my last name is Ramos, John Ramos, but if you use the exact words, depending on what region of America or even the world you are, you can say it differently. And in this case, we found out Lucio Ramos is Ramos while rolling the R versus me, I'm John Ramos. Different areas. Lights off. All right, Jarrett, what are you thinking here?
I'll be honest. I don't know if the majority of the field makes it through 1 and 2. The way that they were racing, and now having even less time, the aggression's going to get dialed to 111.
Let's see if that lives up to what most are definitely thinking. 2x2, Eric Lombard, LCQ leader.
Tons of movement already. They get into 1 and 2, and
Oh, Sanders
is right up into the wall, and it's a huge spread out field now. Prochaska up to the 3rd spot behind Lombard and Comstock, and even more hitting between them in the pack.
Oh man, I mean, that car just did not turn into turn 1.
A lot of them are.
Is he done? No, puts out the frustration on the 19, and he's in the turn 1 wall again. Here comes Cooper Glick to pass him around, and it's gone from bad to worse for Lane Sanders.
Important battles up here, though. Comstock has a little breathing room, and when I say breathing room, I mean maybe a little bit. Riker Byram trying to make something happen, nearly goes around in 4th.
Some toe in it. There's Matt Grab, Richard Cheery.
What happened to the 48? He's back in 17.
Wow, Jeff Perchatsky, what in the world? And he's got damage. Let's see the replay. Got turned off turn 2.
And I think that's game over for him at this point. 16 to go. It ain't going to happen at this point. Dream is dead. Up front, though, well and alive for the top 3. I'd say 3 at this point.
Think about it. There's 4 to 500 drivers in this race, and they could be missing. One is leading. That is Skylar Comstock, but you got Riker Byram, who just had a promo earlier today. Jeff Prochaska, Spencer Burns. Burns already a lap down. He's going to need a caution. Marquez Ramos there in 3rd. I don't think it's all doom and gloom just yet for Riker Byram. If I know that West Texas driver, he's going to do bold things, including on these grassroots short tracks.
14 coming to 13 to go. I mean, he might make something happen with the 40 here, but those front 2 are pulling away, and they're also getting closer together a little bit.
He's going to need a caution. I just think it's going to really come down to Lombard and Skylar Comstock. His teammates just say, don't overdrive it. Look at how wide he is. He is nowhere near painting that old rigid yellow line.
But he's making it work, and you see 5 in the wall.
4 tenths, 12 laps to go. Skylar Comstock running on a dream and a prayer to make this community event.
He lost a 10th that time. Looks like that 5 might have figured something out in 1 and 2.
Remember how Byram won the Battle of the Beach? A bump and run gone wrong by Leave. Michael Mitchell allowed 2 drivers to go around, and he was sitting in 3rd. Took the win off turn 4. Lombard, if he can get to him, he can make it work. Now, really, that go or no-go zone is about 3 tenths.
Yeah, and he's starting to lose a little bit of ground now. Comstock gaining about a 10th and a half that time.
Here's Riker Byram.
Byram's going to have to make something happen now. In the 2nd and a half back, if he doesn't move him, he's going to be stuck there.
Richard Cheery, way up the embankment. There's Matt Graham watching on. This top two, it's starting to shrink.
Yeah, closing back in again. There, he's in the area to strike.
Burns 2 laps down. They're in 06.
He is painting that yellow line at the bottom. And it is working.
I believe he almost got on the wall there if he didn't actually. Yes, he did. Paint scratches on the right side of the 5. 8 to go. Will be 7 this time.
Leave it all out there, though. What do you have to lose? If you spin out from second, you weren't going to make it in that spot anyway.
Hear the tires screeching there on Comstock's machine.
You get to about 2/10, though, that's when you can send it on him. I think that's what he's trying to do. I think that's what Comstock is trying to fight against.
Here's the thing with Byram. He has to find his way around Ramos. You know Lambombard is going to make a move. Lane Sanders holding off the
Lap
Comstock
traffic.
26.
Lap traffic making a difference here. Just caught him in the wrong spot. Gets a good entry.
Inside, outside, 6 to go. Matt Graham a little out of shape.
Oh, he went around.
Byram a move there on Ramos. Moves him wide in turn 4.
1.4, 1.5 back, though, with 5 laps to go. He's going to need to make a miracle happen or something happen between these two.
No run off turn 2 for Lambombard.
He's going to try a different line this time, a little higher up the racetrack. Not going to work. He lost 0.3 that time.
Man. And this is the point of the race where they usually say, hey, control your heart rate. Don't do anything different that you haven't already been doing. That gives you the benefit of trying to catch the guy in front of you. Because now Comstock is starting to get a little more of a cushion with lap traffic again. A possibility. Spencer Burns.
Yeah, well, half a second, though. That is something he can defend well. But 0.4, it's starting to close back in. That move might have been the difference.
3 to go, 2 to go. He's in the wall as well. Riker Byram's into the 3rd position. Can he find a way around him? That's going to be the new question.
I don't know if it makes a difference, but 0.7 of a second, the lead now with 2 laps to go.
Now Burns isn't just going to get out of the way.
Oh, if your Comstock doesn't really matter to get by him, you're still gaining on the field.
Right. Lambombard will have Riker Byram, but not before we see the white flag. 1 to go in the LCQ.
Comstock has 1 lap to just put it all together well. 7, almost 8/10 now between himself and that battle for 2nd position. Burns now moves down the track, not going to get out of the way. Doesn't really matter, though, entering 3 and 4.
So many names were put into the LCQ, but one will come out of it to race in the main. Skylar Comstock finds his way into the NR Night Clash. Lambombard, Riker Byram will head home. Richard Cheery, Marquez Ramos, and so many others will not race for that coveted community event. They will be showing up tomorrow at 9 Eastern, 8 Central. That for the Battle of the Beach. To kick off the racing festivities of Speed Weeks, it is all Skylar Comstock going to victory lane. Quick in, quick out, and that's how they go. The nighttime is the right time as we get ready to go green flag racing.
All right, you can take a breath now. A lot of those guys had some time to just take a breather and get a few laps under their belts.
For the fans back at home, these drivers will have an opportunity to head onto the track and just get some testing in under the night conditions. Now, there's no guarantee that they'll get much out of it, but while we have this time, once again, we talk about the Florida 500 that will be live a week from today. Here is the trailer that will be on display, and don't miss the duels. The duels will be happening this Tuesday.
I'm living in that 21st century, doing something mean to it, doing better than anybody you ever seen. Do it, strange for ladies, got a nice ring to it. I guess every superhero need his theme music. No one man should have all that power. The clock's ticking, I just count the hours. Stop tripping, I'm tripping off the power. I'm living in it.
always fun to see. We're going to bring it back to our studios here in Nashville, Tennessee, as these drivers do have the opportunity to head out onto the track. All right, quickly, we saw 4 heats, 25 laps, an LCQ. I think we have our big dogs already in play. I think it's going to be a big race between Joe and Daniel Mostello.
Again, we've seen it in the LCQ. We saw it in some of the heats. If somebody moves you out of the way, you can go from 0 to 0 like that. Thanos snap.
Very, very quickly. 33 drivers. That's what we are getting ready to watch as we do go trackside. These drivers go into the session. He's 0 to hero for some of those guys. Gavin Austin did it last year in the class. This year, this guy non-stop do it. We're looking at 33 drivers, 150 laps. Once this is in our so there is no stage breaks, there's no caution breaks, whatever you want to call it. It is go, go, go. Joe, Dino, Walker, Sean Rogan. So our top 4 is announced and the top 4 from the lap.
Very much is. Watch making some moves though, others weren't making their moves. He's somebody to watch up in 7th.
All fun as you see that beautiful grandstand. And we've been to grassroots short tracks. There's nothing more pleasing than seeing a track that non-race fans, non-short track fans will look at and say, this needs to be a Walmart. This needs to be torn apart. And then you see it and then you go, wow, it is filled to the brim.
Needs to have more seats.
It needs more seats. And you went to Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway for SRX in 2021.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen Owasso Speedway just filled to the brim and standing room only. It's just unbelievable, and this is why it's great to have these moments, have these races, because the diehard fan watching back at home enjoys it. The diehard iRacer enjoys it. It's always just a great time.
It very much is. I mean, I've been at so many different tracks that have had different feels to it. That race at the fairgrounds with SRX, the Battle of the Elliots, was amazing. I've never felt anything like that at a short track before. A few times at the Rockford Speedway when it was still around. That was my home track.
Yeah, Austin Nason used to race there a lot too.
It was amazing. Yeah, I mean it was an amazing show out for different races there. So I think there's a lesson to be had. Support your local tracks.
It's honestly a lot of fun to talk about this. It's honestly a lot of fun to have these events come on, and it's really a precursor to that big show coming a week from today. But also a reminder that this is where racing really started back in the days, the 1930s, 1940s, in some areas even the early 1900s with horseless carriages. The track may be defunct today, but in the sim it's very much alive. USA International Speedway located in Lakeland, Florida. Drivers said, can we have speed weeks in Florida where we go to different tracks in the state? Let's make it happen in 2025 as we light the fuse in the NR Night in America Clash. Joe sealed like glue to the inside of turn 2.
Yeah, but he is not escaping Daniel Mostello right behind him. That's the gap between first and second.
I don't think that's going to be going anywhere anytime soon. Look at this, still 2 by 2. You got Sean Rowe to the wayside of Aiden Walker. You still have them arguing for positions, maybe about 6th, 7th, and 8th. And who's up in the mix? Rowe, Counts, Josh Kenyon, Joe is currently the leader as they're hugely stacked up back there.
Yeah, 3 and 4 wide through the pack. Guys hitting the wall. This is where the scrum is at. They're just trying to make anything happen. Still 3 wide through this pack.
Jackson Buys stuck on the outside. Dale Greenwood on the bottom. And they make it work. Matthew Brower just really finding his way through. That's all behind James Beaumont.
A lot of muscle being used all the way back here. You got to muscle your way through this pack.
Inside, outside, all lanes being used. The night time's the right time, and you're starting to see that extra lane come together.
You're seeing cars get sent down the track, too. I mean, no one's safe.
Maximilian Bianco sideways on the front stretch, keeps it rolling. Christian Delgado, Chase Scrawl. They all had some type of issue, but we stay green. Mosteller is there, and it's not over.
Oh, and Walker's right behind him, too. They're all under a blanket up towards the front of this pack.
May have just gotten moved. Matthew C. White getting aggressive there for third. This is short track racing.
Yeah, but he is not able to complete the pass around his new bigging into the pack. Big crash. Gonna bring out the first caution of the night.
It very much is. That's a track blocker. You saw Dale Greenwood have to jump on the brakes. Christian Delgado was a late entry into it. There's the Vincent Gucci machine all jammed up on the nose. 145 laps to go in this feature. 5 laps in, the yellow flag waves, and it's going to take some drivers with them.
Yeah, and you got to wonder what the damage is to some of these cars as well. Might be thinning the herd early.
And let's be honest, they were 3 wide, peaking 4 wide at some point back there.
There were guys that were all the way up towards the wall, others on the apron. Like, it is bound to happen.
Let's see here.
Oh, so William Schmidt, he was the first one to have some issues. Biggie just kind of loses it out.
I think he just got way too hard on the gas. The weight shifting is a little bit harder to diagnose, I would say, in the next gen than it is maybe a Gen 6, a Gen 4. I think it's just way too quick back to the gas with it evened out. So that's Eldon Contreras on the outside. Schmidt sending a heave.
Contact kind of sent him onto the apron. They went around. And it's just a chain reaction.
I think Frank D'Angelo's had a great view of this wall. Matthew Brower got a piece of it. And it will bring the caution out for the first time. Mosteller, a scheme very reminiscent to his Alabama 500 win. Currently there in second, the Cherry Coat car, Aiden Walker. That is the scheme he'll be running in the Florida 500. What's really cool about this, those drivers have a test right after this. The Florida 500 test. We're expecting a huge car count for it as well. It will be off air, but if you are in the Discord in the mosh pit, you can go ahead and listen to those guys, or just keep an eye. Someone's going to be live streaming it in the Discord, so we're going to go ahead and once again send a link to the Discord. 3,000 members, you can be a part of it as well. Keep up to date on everything at our night in America. We give all the news, updates, and all the fun things. You can hear the drivers' meetings as well leading into it. Surprise, not surprise. I would say I'm surprised Douglas Newbigging involved in an incident. Not surprised the top 3 is the way it is.
Well, and I'll say this, what I'm really intrigued by now is the restart. The 81, 87. They were pretty even on the start, but we've seen that through the night, it seems like the restart goes much better to the leader than anyone else. And if that's the case, Walker could follow through to the second spot maybe.
We got lights off this time by. We've seen tempers already, but this is grassroots racing on a short track. They are fast. Those cars are electric. They glow so well here. This is an older scan racetrack, and you can see the pearlescent purple, or cherry, should I say, on Moses 87. That is Joseph Armstrong's scheme for the Florida 500 in that 81. I think we got to do this every year.
Yeah. Well, let's see how it goes. Green flag.
Quick to the outside for Joe. Got an amazing approach into one. Mosteller has to deal with Aiden Walker. That will stop a bind for the lead as the fight's on for second.
And he shuts the door on him. Mosteller stays in that second spot, but Armstrong about 3.5 tenths away.
Deeper in the field, a mosh pit. 2 by 2, 1 and 3 wide. You see Gavin Austin there in 10th. Eldon Contreras in 9th. Josh Kenyon hanging out in the 8th position. Cole Wilson, Frank DeAngelis, Derek Shaver.
A lot more orderly, not as much 3 and 4 wide racing. Still a lot of contact though. Car around in the back.
That may have been Cinderbomb, Jackson Buys. They'll get through. No, check that. That may have been. Yes, it was. Went to pit road as well. Quickly went around and find his way to Alt F4. That is confirmed. Most 2 tenths back with Joseph Armstrong.
And he is making up that ground. The whole pack is about 5 cars under a blanket. Up front, Armstrong, Mosteller, Walker, White and Rowe.
There's Everett Counts. There's Ty Leclerc. Remember, Leclerc was the one that really wowed everyone just in that last heat. Sitting there in 7th, he's had to deal with a lot of fighting. It's not over. This is for the top spot. Top 3, top 4, single file.
And Mosteller is getting a good run. We've seen this tonight where you got to set a guy up. He's got to set Armstrong up. Only about maybe a tenth and a half between them now.
I don't think it's over.
Just a little bop into the wall, nothing major, but he is right in the back of that double mid Toyota.
And that's one thing I love about the heats. It separates the drivers that you expect to be good versus the ones that you kind of expect to be in the middle ground. So if this is your first time watching NR Night in America, you could have watched every single heat and said, that guy's good, that guy's good. Oh, and they're going to face each other in the main feature. Guess what we have with 135 to go?
We have the best of the best up front. Top 5, 4 of them are our heat winners.
Aiden Walker there, P3. Just trying to dive in deep.
But I saw that Mosteller has a bit of a scratched up right front. We'll talk about that in a moment because he's going for the lead. Part of that is you got damage on the right side, you're passing cars. You got it on the left side, you're being passed. Side by side for the lead, entering 3. Edge goes to 81 for now. Exiting the corner, Mosteller has the nose.
Can he clear? Oh, Joe may have left that lap. That was dangerously close, but they're still in a bind, 87 versus 81.
Mosteller had it by 0.02 of a second. He has it by a little more now. And again, stressing little more. Clears him. Can he keep him clear out of the corner? He's got him. Now Walker putting on the pressure.
Top of the board, Daniel Mosteller here in the NR Night Clash. Armstrong goes to second, Walker goes to third, Matthew C. White to fourth, Sean Rose sits in fifth, and that top 5 is now in parade formation with still a lot of racing left to go.
Yeah, well, the parade leader is starting to wave goodbye because Mosteller already with a 0.4 of a second lead.
And he quickly got ahead. Sean Rowe. This conveyor belt style of racing, very interesting. I want to compare it to maybe like a Martinsville or a Bristol. But with this track being, would you call it a hybrid of both? Maybe yes, maybe no.
Kind of a mix between Martinsville and North Wilkesboro, if anything.
I would say that, yes. It's made things interesting. It's a fight for deeper in the field. William Schmidt, Frank DeAngelis, left side of your screen. You see where all 33 drivers currently are on track. A lot of nose damage already on multiple cars. You saw the puncture from Gavin Austin. Armstrong, Walker, White. I'm used to seeing Joe backing up early in a race because usually he accepts that it's going to be a long green flag run, very worn out surface, a lot of bumps. Man, already 7/10 back to Mosteller. You got to be thinking, with there being 2 veterans up front, 1-2, they have to be very confident in their strategy.
That, and we talked about stuff changing with plan. Part of the changing is changing circumstances. One of those being the fact that they're quickly approaching lap traffic, and that is going to be key when it comes to track position in a long run, because if a lap car gets you stuck, you could lose 3, 4, 5 spots.
8/10 as of this moment, and it'll be 127 laps to go. Already a very interesting opener here to the NR Night Clash. If you're just tuning in, welcome. It's Rush Hour from Lakeland, Florida. The Florida 500 a week from today, a duels this Tuesday, and tomorrow we head to Daytona. Well, really should I say New Smyrna Beach, as it's the Battle of the Beach with the ARCA Gen 4 grassroots action leading up to that big e-ticket event.
It is going to be one fun event for sure, always is. And you're seeing, I think these guys are playing it a bit more smart, especially even if you're in that top 15 or so. You got to think long race. You're going to have long green flag runs, but there's bound to be a few cautions in this thing. Keep your stuff together. You're in the front of the pack. All it takes is one restart where the leaders all charge on in there, overcook it. Somebody does, starts a big wreck, and all of a sudden you're the beneficiary of it. So everyone just playing it smart right now.
Mosteller just caught lap traffic. Starting to see Joseph still dropping back.
Over a second now.
Yeah, definitely over a second. Matthew C. White back there in 4th. Tyler Leclerc in 7th. Let's find some shockers in the field. Chase Crawl's back in 25th. Dale Greenwood at 19th. Kind of where he needs to be, but Douglas Newbigging is starting his charge forward.
Yeah, already up to the 16th position now. Just slowly but surely chipping away. One of those guys that wants to put himself in position to take advantage of other people's problems.
Well, this one, Frank DeAngelis, lowest is 16th, currently 13th. Hasn't been outside the top 20, but he's the one that's seen it all. It seems like 3 wide, 4 wide, 2x2, moving, shunting. There's not a scratch on the front forward.
No, he's been playing it pretty good as well. He's been trying a little higher up the racetrack, maybe try and get that diamonding run off of the corner. It's working a bit.
Maybe there was a scratch right in front. Talked about moving guys, if you got damage in the right front.
Frank DeAngelis doing that, not a surprise.
Not a surprise at all. Armstrong has mostly stopped the bleeding, whether it's a net gain here, a net gain there, not very much seen to the naked eye. But for Josh Kenyon, he's in 10th, and that William Schmidt fellow wants to find a way through quickly. That is 10th and 11th, back to turn 1.
Yeah, and you're seeing those lappers now are making a big difference as they go through the pack. A lot slower, so if you're side by side like Frank is with Contreras, that could be a huge, huge advantage for you. He's going to be on the high side exiting.
That Cole Wilson guy there in 9th is doing pretty well. Up to the 9th position. He hasn't had a shot at a neat ticket just yet. Ooh, Murphy coming out of pit road, damage to his right front. And here are the brake rotors. They're starting to glow.
Yeah, and Kenyon tried to make the move, not going to make it happen. Schmidt going to try and get the top 10 on the high side. That is a tough endeavor, but he's making it work. Stays there at the corner.
Austin having to deal with Randolph. Randolph a lap machine. That is actually the Josh Berry 21. That will be ran during the Busch Light, now the Cookout Clash. That will be happening this Sunday at Bowman Gray Stadium.
Slightly different scheme. I know a lot of people that grew up around the time we did and remember Bill Elliott in that car. Slightly different though on the font of the 21 for that car. Very interesting car to look at this week. Might be the same one on here, but the Josh Berry machine just slightly different than the Bill Elliott machine. He's just falling back through the pack here. You're look through the pack, and you see Douglas Newbigging starting to make his way back up. He's caught Josh Lilly.
He's up to 16th as of this moment. Lilly there in 15th. He's going to have Shaver and Contreras right in front of him. It's feeding time for Newbigging. A net gain opportunity, but just behind him in the mirror, Vincent Gucci, Brad Gutierrez. They're lot machines, though. They shouldn't be too much of a hassle. I think Doug's in a really good spot as of this moment.
Yeah, he is, I think, fully recovered from that early spin. No damage or no substantial damage at that. And he's caught up to this pack that's kind of, oh, Contreras around.
Do they avoid it? Oncoming traffic.
Everyone missed him.
Wow, and not enough time to get the yellow out. We stayed green as everyone went around the Elodom 92.
Unfortunate for him, whether or not it was caused by himself or somebody else, but the battle rages on now for what will be the fight for what, 13? 14? Yeah.
Lilly on the outside in the Red Bull 97. Trying to squeeze down to Derek Shaver 30.
Newbigging trying to follow along with him. Looking down low, that Red Bull machine. National Guard gets into him a bit. And it's side by side, 2x2.
Hard fought racing up front. It's the Mosteller show, but that's going to be a heave. Shaver off the nose of the 7, and he saves it.
Great save, but he's going to lose a lot of spots here. Slow out of 2. And Newbigging not taking prisoners up to the 14th position after falling to last with that early spin.
Pushing, shoving, shunting. This is the clash here at USA International Speedway. Short track action around the state of Florida before we go racing in the Florida 500. A lot of blinking out of Vincent Gucci. Cole Wilson, excited to see what he can do. He's toe-to-toe with Gavin Austin. Matter of fact, he found his way around Frank DeAngelis, who falls back to 11th.
Yeah, more fighting though. This for the 9th spot. DeAngelis could get the 10th spot depending on which lane he chooses. He's going to move Gavin Austin a little bit. Clean bump and run.
Easy in, easy out. Oh, Wilson's going to get a welcome to NR by Frank DeAngelis. Both, should I say all 3 up the baking.
Synchronized near spinning.
And Josh Kenyon won't even get a net gain out of it. He got loose off 4.
That is an NR night moment if I have ever seen one. And you see the fighting going on. Newbigging up to 12th, looking for 11th underneath Lilly. He is putting the charge, just not getting involved in other people's issues.
I really like that Cole Wilson guy because Frank DeAngelis somehow net gains from, we know how polarizing he is. Gavin Austin somehow net gained from it as well.
Everyone did through that part of the pack. And not too bad of a loss for Wilson.
I think he's starting to learn, okay, who should I race a certain way around this racetrack? He's not going to forget the name Frank DeAngelis tonight.
Yeah, because we're not even a third of the way through this event. We're not even at lap 50, and this is a 150-lap race. So that's a story to follow. But you're watching Lily now in the 11th spot, trying to take a top 10 position away from Gavin Austin. Looks low, can't make it happen this time, though. Gavin goes up the track, though, so he is going to make it happen. Clears him out of 4.
And on rails goes Lily. New Bigging has to avoid a move back to the left and jumps actually to the right wing of Gavin Austin. They're now toe-to-toe for the 11th position.
With how tight that 2 machine was, that was a brave move by Douglas New Bigging. 1 spot away now from a top 10, and here comes Wilson trying to make a pass on Gavin Austin again.
Back there in 13th, Josh Kenyon in 14th, Yahir Rodriguez. Back in 15th, Maximilian Bianco. We're watching those battles. They're great. What about that of Daniel Mosteller? Well, he's the race leader. Joseph Armstrong, a 2.5 seconds back. Matthew C. White and others kind of just all separated until you get to Ty Leclerc, Sean Rowe, should I say 5th and 6th.
Hey, Leclerc making more passes again, just like he did in the heats. It's about a 5.5 second gap between him and Mosteller, but the long run goes, you're going to see cars changing.
We've seen Leclerc in at our night for quite some time. I believe actually 2021. Because the first time he joined, everyone said, is that Charles? Is that Charles Leclerc? Is that him? And no, that's not. That's all Ty. Ty's hanging out with us, having a great time. Short track specialist. He'll be back most likely tomorrow. You know he's going to want to do the Battle of the Beach. Currently having a show up front in here in the Clash.
Yeah, doing really well, pulling away already. He's actually making up time both on White in the 4th spot as well as Mosteller, the leader.
Bigging. Cole Wilson and Gavin Austin's going to turn him around.
Oh, he just sent him that time.
Too many incidents. Derek Shaver loose in the grass. He'll bring the caution out for the first time.
All right, so we're about a third of the way through this.
Check that.
We're about a third of the way through this race now. So, you know, for those who want it at home, we almost have a stage break here.
Yeah.
I'm going to be interested to see who can make up some positions on this restart. Because we'll probably be restarting what, John? About 100, maybe a little under 100 to go?
I would say probably 98 when this thing all gets done. Safety yellow coming out. Too many incidents for the ones that have been watching it our night for quite some time. If there's multiple scattered incidents on the racetrack and relaxed yellows are not enabled, you will see something called a safety yellow where there's so many incidents with so many drivers, even though it wasn't on the racing surface. Let me say, put it out. We saw about 3 or 4. This is going to stack things up for a restart.
So we're watching them here, and it's interesting. I think
He was coming down, and then it looks like Gavin reacted.
That's what I'm thinking. Because at first, it looked from the initial view like Gavin Austin just cleared him out. Then a self spin there, or near spin, then spin.
And then you have these two getting together. I think Christian Delgado just wanted to tell Jackson Byes to get away.
Yeah.
Little love taps here and there. Others coming to pit road for some, should we say, some strategy. Armstrong getting out in front of Mosteller. I think that's someone we may have to go ahead and talk to here in just a moment.
Yeah, this is going to be a really fun restart.
Joseph Armstrong, John Ramos, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
All right. Lost the lead to the 87, right? You get it back through pit strategy. What did you see out of him? What do you need to learn for yourself?
I mean, he was kind of coming back to me there right before the yellow came out. I don't know if he was kind of chilling his stuff as he caught black traffic, or I was actually just faster than him. But I don't know. I got to work on the short run, but that's kind of a sacrifice that'll just have to be made tonight. And yeah, I'm willing to make the sacrifice. Just got to hopefully play out the way I want it to in order for it to work. But yeah, Demos is a tough battle. I think it's going to be between me and him, to be honest, for this one. Hopefully I'll be talking to you guys in about 100 laps. So.
Yeah, well, you're going to have the lights off right here. That's something everyone's got to remember. Armstrong long run, Demo short run. I believe that would be correct. Joseph Armstrong, you'll have 99 laps to go. Let's get ready to see how it all shapes out.
All right, so we saw a few comers and goers like we talked about before. Now we're going to see them all line back up again. Armstrong low, Mosteller on the high side, 81, 87, Toyota, Chevy, here we go.
Rack 'em and stack 'em. Matt Green in the inner night clash.
Great restart from Armstrong. He gets away. Walker gets the jump on Demos down low. The 87 of Mosteller now fighting just to stay in second.
Oh man, and Matthew C. White gave a shot to the 93.
And that opened the door for that 87 machine, who's now going to have his sights set on Armstrong.
Just talked about having to work on the short run a little bit more. He knows how good that 87 is.
Well, and so I think it's paramount at this point, especially if it goes green long again. Armstrong has to hold up Demos a lot. That'll help.
And it's a wreck. Down into turn 1 and 2. William Schmidt. Douglas Newbigging will bring the caution out for the third time. And we will stack them up and try it again. Douglas Newbigging, second incident of the night, and this one's going to destroy both ends of his race car.
Yeah, he tried to make that charge up, but these restarts are hectic and perilous. But the big thing for Armstrong, going back to that, if he can hold off Mosteller for as long as possible in the short term, he won't have as much ground to make up on the long run.
No, he won't. Incident on the restart. We talked about how rigid these cars are, but man, when you stack them up 2 by 2 on this tight racetrack, things go wrong. And for the closer of Schmidt, went wrong dearly down off turn 4.
Yeah, and that collects 5 cars right off the bat, then a chain reaction into him. And it's on.
Nowhere for Shaver to go. That's into Newbigging, Delgado, Chase Crawl. We saw Contreras already go around once. This time he'll get a nudge in the left front.
Hey, I mean, Schmidt is one of the best out there. Like, he's called the closer for a reason. He didn't just get that because it's a nice, cute nickname. Like, he's a good driver who closes out and drives smart. So to have him just lose it, like, it shows how difficult this track is.
That's a great point. I usually don't see this at all out of William Schmidt. I can't even tell you the last time William Schmidt self-spun anywhere. And it will bring the field back to a slow. So that's the third time we have seen the caution come out of this race. 95 laps to go. Joe still on the race lead. He said he thinks it's going to be between him and Mosteller. Early predictions, I still have to put Sean Rowe in there because he's another one. Like Joe, they learn as the race goes on. I guarantee you, if this is a 250-lap race, Sean Rowe would have learned the most out of anyone.
I'll tell you what, though, the heats, they showed and we learned who the best were. Look at our top 4.
Yeah, it has not changed.
I mean, it's changed maybe in order every now and then, but
not from
these
the
guys have consistently been the best up there. White's up there still. Like, this is still a really, really strong top end of the field.
Should get lights off this time by. If not, they'll get next time by. No, they do. So they'll line back up. Chevrolet's on the outside. Toyota's on the bottom for at least the first 3 rows before the Fords take up in row number 4. That is pretty astonishing. All 4 heat winners are sitting 1, 2, 3, 4. And yes, they have shuffled the deck here and there. But that's why you watch the heats. You want to see who the best are going to be come race time.
You know what this reminds me of, though? A lot of classic short track races where initial problems start in the back, kind of like 2012 Bristol Night Race, and they just move their way up through the night.
Try it all again. 93 laps to go from USA International Speedway, Lakeland, Florida for the NR Night in America Clash.
A great restart for Armstrong. Now it's Rowe's turn to try and get past the 87 of Mosteller. Gonna stay on the bottom, has a nose.
Watching, does he drive it in deep? Not deep enough to make contact. Top 3, top 4 stay the same, shuffling deeper in the field. DeAngelis around out of Josh Louis.
Yeah, and you saw a wiggle out the 87 of Mosteller. That's gonna open the door up top for Rowe to try and make a move. Can't do it again.
Aiden Walker, Matthew C. White, Everett Couch, Ty Leclerc.
And you're just seeing this battle through the pack, and up front, it's still pretty darn close between the 81, 87, and 99.
Sean Rowe, right now not getting the view that he wants. You see that top 2. D'Angelo still making up that ground here and there.
Little by little, everyone just keeps chipping their way up towards the front. The best of the best we've seen tonight are still the best of the best moving their way up.
Everett counts 77. Man, he's making a name for himself.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he is probably, we talked about it tonight. There would be somebody who would just surprise us, and so far he surprised us in a good way.
And he will be in the Florida 500 duels come this Tuesday, but no one had him circling. We both take notes for the event. I was thinking Everett counts. Yeah, he does well in the duels at Daytona.
It'd be like
for
a
night.
top 20 guy or
Yeah.
something, top 15, but running 7, top 10, and staying up with some of the best on the short tracks and in general in NR, that was not something we had on our bingo card.
Nope, not even close. Well, this Matthew C. White guy as well didn't go away in the heats, has yet to go away in the feature. He sits P5.
That top 3 is under a blanket now, only 4/10, less than 4/10 now, 3/10 between them. Mosteller, he's pressing the issue.
Top 3, and I'm telling you, I think Sean Rowe's going to want to get around this 87. Everyone knows Joe does not have a short run car. So if Rowe can be a little bit better than most here, and maybe leapfrog the 81, at some point the 81 and the 87 will fight for position.
It is huge for him, though, if he can get past the 87 before that and make his way up. It looks like he has a car that is formidable. He can go against both of them.
Oh, he got loose off turn 4 as well, allows Joe to get away just ever so slightly. Sean Rowe's applying the pressure on this top 3. His brake rotors are blowing the most.
Yeah, Mosteller, the lone Chevy between 2 Toyotas up towards the front of this pack.
Back and forth, Aiden Walker, he's watching on. White, Leclerc still 6. Counts has had the back bumper just beat just a little bit by Frank D'Angelo. It's not enough to be truly worrisome. The top 8 run just around 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, he's getting away, but yeah, top 6 have kind of pulled away. The 4th, 5th, and 6th place cars, they're the ones now that are catching up. It's going to be 6 cars basically in a formation line up in front.
Watching Sean Rowe there in 3rd. We expect great things out of that 99, not just in the e-ticket, but throughout the entirety of 2025. Same with Daniel Mosteller. Joe is stuck ahead of him for quite some time. Both these drivers have led, if not all, the laps in this race. 34 to Joe. You saw the 32 to Mosteller. It feels like Joe has led less laps, but due to the cautions and these restarts, he's just stayed out in front of them.
He's done a really good job of that. His car, hopefully for his sake, is going to start turning on a little bit more. But you're seeing the 99, 93, Rowe, Walker, they are trying to press the issue. It's go time.
This truck is rubbered up very well, and I wonder if Armstrong's car is just starting to benefit a little bit more from that. For the ones watching back at home, go to lap 150. The track is bright. You know, you can just see it. And now the 2 crews have really come together when you see them down into 3 and 4. Sean Rowe is just a little bit better on rotating center well, and I don't think Mosteller has that energy that he once had earlier in the race.
Well, earlier in the race, we kind of compared this to a mix, a North Wilkesboro as well as Martinsville. Part of the Martinsville deal is if you're somebody like Armstrong or Mosteller and somebody pulses you out of the way, you're not going from, 2nd to 3rd, 1st to 2nd. No, you're going from like 1st or 2nd to 5th or 6th at this point with the way they're lined up behind them.
These drivers low on the gas, hard on the brakes.
Back in 7th, by the way, D'Angelo around Couts.
Quickly finding his way through. Josh Lilly would like to make quick work as well. There's Eladon Gutierrez. Only 2 drivers out of this race as of this moment, James Bomar and Matthew Brower. So we still have 31 drivers on track competing.
Yeah, and you're seeing Green rise to the top for the night so far. Armstrong, though, slowly starting to build that lead. It's not a 10th anymore, it's 3/10.
Maybe this is what he needed. Just hold off Mosteller enough, wait for the pendulum to swing. Unless Mosteller is saving something that we don't know. How about the fight for 4th? You still got Matthew C. White, you still got Ty Leclerc, all behind the Aiden Walker 93.
And if you're some of these guys, you got to figure out how to make the move. I'd say even Rowe factors into this because you can't just sit 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th all night and expect to make your way up right at the end. Greenwood going a lap down here.
lot of damage on the nose of that 08. Just barely snuck into the main show from his heat. Zenderbaum, Delgado, they're finding their way inside the top 20. Wilson, we talked about him earlier, up inside the top 5, top 6. He's back to 14. We'll look a little bit deeper. Josh Kenyon, Yahir Rodriguez. This is Yahir for 11th. And that's Eldon Contreras at 12.
And the racing here is just as hard as it is up towards the front, maybe even a little more difficult between them. They're just going back and forth. You see the swings of position back here.
Gavin Austin in 2. They're in the 10th position. Seeing this all unfold in his mirror.
Quietly solid night for Gavin Austin. Contreras looks low on Rodriguez. Gonna be pretty even.
Wilson, Kenyon, 2 by 2 behind them. Yahir Rodriguez, man, he still had a fight, and it's not going to be able to hold on. This time, Eldon Contreras will find his way through. Yahir Rodriguez back to 12th. And it's 74 laps to go for all these drivers running just outside the top 10.
That means we are past the halfway point.
Halfway, and these are still the big 2.
Yeah, these two, if anyone is going to beat them tonight, it's going to be one of them or themselves. And what I mean is either Mosteller is going to beat Armstrong, Armstrong's going to beat Mosteller, or they're going to take each other out in the process. I mean, look at that lead. It's starting to grow. You're starting to see the rubber band stretch back out for all these guys.
Let's see the lap for lap here. It shows at least some type of net gain for most, but that's a rally to the line. Really everywhere else on the track, it's not like that. And this is where you see the big fall off from lap 77, lap 78. Maybe saying that's less than half a 10. What are you talking about? That's a huge fall off.
Big deal on short tracks.
On short track racing, you know, including with this next gen car, you're trying to find every inch. I think Denny Hamlin mentioned it the best, right? With the Gen 6, you're trying to find any advantage. It was the arms race. With the next gen, every single inch, every single half a 10, it means the most, and it will play a factor 10, 15, 20 laps from now.
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing the battles behind these guys is still pretty hot, especially 4th, 5th, and 6th. But those 2 leaders, they are the class of the field tonight. About 70 laps to go.
2 by 2. No fights out of DeAngelis. No fights out of Josh Lilly. We saw Eladom go at it at one point.
He's in the top 10. He got past Gavin Austin.
And Yahir Rodriguez has dropped way back. We're talking 23rd as of this moment, and he is actually getting lapped by your race leaders.
I think something happened to him.
Look at that left front damage.
Yeah.
Not what you want to see. Mosteller will lose a little more time. He's back to 4/10. Deeper in the field, here's William Schmidt. And Chase Scrawl will be there in 27th behind him. I believe that is Tobias Matheson.
Shaver in 22nd, going to be the next guy to get lapped. Last one on the lead lap. These leaders are picking him up and putting him down. He's got what, maybe I'd say 3 seconds, 4 seconds before he gets lapped.
Somewhere in that ballpark, give or take. Eric W. gifting 5 memberships. Want to say thank you to that. All those drivers, fans, viewers will have an opportunity to have all the icons ready come dual time for the Florida 500. So be aware, Tuesday, brand new icons. Hopefully your favorite driver is present. That 87's a little bit more upset, and he's gone the wall a lot more than others.
Yeah, it's 4/10 to half a second between them. And you're starting to see the difference, again, of driving styles. Mosteller has been charging it more into the corner. Gains a 10th or so, then loses it on exit to Armstrong. Armstrong's car is hooked up for this long run.
Leclerc, White, Rowe, that's 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Behind, Frank DeAngelis will have Everett counts. The fight for 7th and 8th.
Looking low again. DeAngelis with a solid 7th place run. The way I kind of look at Frank tonight is he's kind of become the best of the rest, or at least battling to be the best of the rest.
Right.
Those top 6, they're the ones who can race for the win. Something happens in the top 2, they get together, they're going for it. Frank's like that next level, like right behind him. And that's where these 3 right here of DeAngelis, Cox, and Lilly are battling.
I remember in 2022, we saw DeAngelis win a good amount. And then all of a sudden, come 2023, it completely swings. 2024, it desperately swung. And now in 2025, you're kind of just expecting that same old, same old. But yes, running up inside the top 10, that's where he usually runs anyways on any given week. We just don't see him taking the checkered flag every other week of NR.
Because it's tougher competition. Competition just gets better and better, and you need to keep like leveling up basically.
And think about 2021, if we got 30-something cars in the field, yes, you know, it's a great field. 2022, while we're filling this stuff up, 2023, yeah, we're going to add duels. 2024, oh, the iRating has also been raised. You know, it just continued to muster around and adapting to times. That's the big thing. You see drivers that were great in 21, couldn't do well in 22. Fantastic in 22, unknown in 24. Some of them are E-ticket champions. Others are just now coming to the ranks. DeAngelis has been here really since the beginning and still running up inside the top 10.
Zelda Zone, Mosteller still falling back, but not as much. The bleeding has at least been slowed between the 81 and 87. Now it's just a matter of how do you bite back into that lead.
It's going to be tough because third, fourth, and fifth have really lost touch with them as well. Here's Tyler Clare to the inside of Matthew C. White.
Claire's another one that I think if he got the track position, he'd be good for a long run, but he always seems to have his car come on 40 laps into the run, starts making these passes, but that's just too long. Look how far back he is, 4 seconds back in a track like this, with Armstrong and Mosteller as competition, Rowe and Walker right in front, and White holding them off. Like, you just can't come back from that very easily.
It's going to be interesting. I think you just need more lap traffic to possibly play a role, if anything, unless the strategy's a flip.
You're seeing it on the side tinker there with the intervals. Rowe now starting to get stuck behind lap traffic. That has erased a lot of the ground he made up. Delgado up in the wall going a lap down, or another lap down.
There's Sean Rowe. And these cars don't navigate the bump swell. And we started realizing that on long green flag runs of the next gen on a worn out surface like USA, like an intermediate like Atlanta, Legacy Atlanta, or even New Atlanta, things do shift. They play around and sometimes not always in the favor of certain drivers.
You're seeing the handling of these cars going away, and it's going away quicker and quicker and quicker. The wiggles off the corner, they're getting worse. The guys getting tight, they're getting up into the wall.
We've seen fall off. Best lap out of Aiden Walker. 21.337, currently running a 22.458, so that's over a second fall off. Joseph Armstrong in the same boat, give or take, a 21.3.
That's a big difference, though. That's a 10th difference, and that's why you're seeing him pull away. Look at Mosteller. He has a full second, about a second, maybe a little more. Rowe about 1.2 seconds of fall off, so that's where you're seeing it, is the long run. It's really going to be who can get up with Armstrong, or is there going to be another caution?
Oh, Frank DeAngelis loose and slides into the grass.
He tried his best to do it.
He will save it, continue going in the right direction. Once you have company of a friend group, Jackson buys sideways as well. I think they heard you, Jarrett. Oh, and we'll actually collect another machine, and he's not going to be able to get down. That actually brings out the caution.
You know what that's actually saves when it comes to keeping any hope for anything tonight alive is Comstock.
Yeah.
He was about to go a lap down, has managed to keep it on the lead lap all night as we're almost at lap 100 of 150.
Oh, and Christian Delgado is not pleased with that 33. Look at the damage on the right front.
I like how you saw Frank follow him down there and be like, nah, I'm good.
I don't want to get penalized again.
He's got it covered. And you're seeing everybody else now have to do more avoidance.
Yeah, we got in there late. Like, we got really late into
Look
what
at
happened.
that left front.
Okay, so something bigger happened.
Look at the left front of that subway machine right here.
So first is Gavin Austin. No, maybe not. This is definitely a lead up to something that happened.
All right, so he's behind Gavin here. He's going to dive it down in the corner. Nothing yet.
We're probably going to have to find Christian Delgado. So there's the 2, 3.
Well, I think there might have been 4.
May have been 4 at that point, yeah.
Payback.
Not too happy with him. Now, how does he get center bomb? That's the real question. Oh, just drove right into him.
The ARCA breaks him now.
right with the leaders coming on, drivers coming in as well. Can't get down. So almost a lazy-ish spin. Okay, Christian Delgado, where is he? There's the damage, so something happened. And I think there it is. So it's the center bomb. Boom! Right into the outside wall.
Big hit.
It may have also started with Jackson Mize, but I just don't think we'll know, as it's time to possibly have a restart. Pit road is wide open. And look who wins the race off pit road. It's the 87 instead of the 81.
Again, we said somebody has to make something happen. Now it is on Armstrong. He needs to have a fabulous restart. Stay with the 87. Try and stay ahead of him, because now the pendulum is swung right back to Mosteller.
Demos, John Ramos, you got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
This looks very fun. It's a very interesting strategy on a race. Okay, at one point you have the advantage. Then Joe has the advantage. He beats you off pit road. Now you beat him off pit road. What is going on here with this passing back and forth?
I know my first pit stop I was a little bit slow, just RNG, I guess. But here I just got a better entry than him into my stall, and I barely beat him off.
Wow. Okay, are you enjoying this race?
I'm having fun. The dirty air is a bit of an issue, but that's to be expected. But overall, I'm having a good amount of fun.
All right, getting ready for this restart. You got 50 laps to go. Is it enough for you to go to victory lane?
We'll see. I think Joe's just a tick faster than me, but we'll see what I can do.
Let's find out. 50 laps. That's all it comes down to, Jarrett, for all these drivers left standing. Armstrong, Mosteller, Rowe, White, Leclerc, Couch, Lilly, and Eladon Contreras.
Here we go. Let's set it off. Less than 50 laps left.
Armstrong quickly gets in line. Mosteller, bold restart, gets out in front. Sean Rowe still with light. That's 2 by 2, 3 wide behind. Look at Eladon Contreras back there in 7th.
Look at Couch. He's going for the 5th spot too. And around goes Leclerc.
Ty Leclerc up to the outside wall. Gets it back refired. We stay green.
And look who fell back with all of that too. Walker now in the 8th spot. He's behind Lilly and stuck in here. Big pile up, stack up still.
And saved it, all 4 or 5 of them.
Now there's still 3-4 wide in the corner though.
Douglas Newbigging on the apron. He's still 3 wide.
Another hard hit.
And that's going to be Everett Couch.
The Cinderella story done.
And the field is coming, so the caution will wave.
Cinderella story done. He was going for the 4th position earlier. Got caught up in that 3 wide, 4 wide scrum. And now he's going to go all the way to the back.
Man, look at that left rear. Yes, he definitely got help, and I don't think he realizes how bowed out it is.
Yeah, that is damn near total.
Oh, man, Bryson Bird. You saw it there just in that last moment. Did he get help? I would say he did by a blinking out on Contreras.
Who had went down on the apron entering the corner too. Nowhere for the 22 to go, although it was maybe an hour before he got there. But a great restart by Mosteller gets him the lead handily at that point.
We are hearing L1 there for Eladon Contreras' internet for his blinking that you saw. Watch this. Douglas Newbigging making up spots on the apron. That was on Chase Stroll.
Yeah, I can't remember what year it was, but Kyle Busch did something similar at Atlanta in the Truck Series.
He did. Look
Like,
at this.
just chose the apron like, oh, nowhere to go? Okay, I'll go down here and pass all of you.
They just made out about 4 or 5 spots.
I mean, no out of bounds. There's no yellow line rule.
But we'll bring it to pit road and possibly make some type of adjustment on strategy. So Mosteller, the race leader. Joseph Armstrong, P2. Sean Rowe, P3.
Look at Claire all the way back to the 20th position after all of that. After a pretty darn good night, a top 5 night going.
Now the first caution, should I say the first penalty, will be out for the entirety of the night, including the heats. Eladon Contreras, L1 internet blinking. That is the result of the yellow zone. He will be tromping to the tail end of the field.
That means you got Frank DeAngelis in the first 3 rows.
Size it up again.
You know, John, I said it earlier. At the start of this race, you saw the guys in the back causing the issues. Then it moved to like the back of the middle of the pack, then to the front of the middle. Now we're getting guys closer to the front causing these issues. With 44 laps to go in this race, it is far from over.
Far from over, indeed. Sean Rowe, Toyota. We're lining up. Man, Toyota's had a great night. But Chevrolet, usually in community events, they show up when it matters the most, and it's usually that last little run. What can it be? What can it be? Another restart. We'll have 42 laps to decide it. Pace truck hard left onto pit road. Crowd on their feet just once more. Most fires in the box. Back green from USA.
Out of a cannon goes the 87-81 of Armstrong, sticking right with them on the bottom. He is glued to that yellow line.
White goes wide. Walker's going to work with him. DeAngelis will as well. Top 2, top 3, all single file. Joe gives a nudge. Not much more. Mosteller still leads it.
That 81 car has gotten better as the night has went on, and he gives another bump, a second bump to Mosteller. He's there. He has a nose looking, doesn't do anything with it yet. He can go where he wants. He's got it.
To the inside. It's going to be a drag race off 4. Mosteller at the line. Joe advantage to turn 1.
He's got the prime line in 1 and 2. Mosteller, though, valiantly fights back on the high side. They're going to be dead even entering 3 and 4.
That's going to be about who can break the latest. Joe just had it stick so well on the bottom, but can't clear that 87 off turn 4.
And that means Mosteller going to just try to keep fighting. Sean Rowe right there with him. He's going to try and take advantage of that 87.
Ooh, gets into him as well, and Joseph Armstrong can clear off turn 2.
Can't wait. You can't wait at this point. Less than 40 laps left. It could go by in the blink of an eye.
Rowe's got company in Matthew C. White. They've been fighting all night long. 39 laps to go, now 38. And just like that, Armstrong has full advantage of this field. Easily just over a car length of advantage to the next Chevrolet.
Top 5 about the same as we've seen all night. Frank DeAngelis sticking right with them, kind of straggling behind this front 5. But Armstrong now starting to chip more and more away. It's up to Mosteller. He's got to make something happen. 37 laps left to do it.
There's Aiden Walker there in 5th. Saw DeAngelis. Yahir Rodriguez has worked his way up as well. Bryson Bird, Josh Kenyon now back in the 17th position. A lot of separation out of these drivers as the race leaders will catch the lap traffic into 21.
And he's going to make way for them, but it's going to catch one of these guys in 2nd or 3rd maybe. Oh, Gutierrez around.
He found the inside wall. We'll go a lap down.
Lap traffic, though, showing some good respect to the guys. Racing for the win. Staying out of the way.
Now, he's not that far. It's like you could just go out there and grab it, right? If you're watching back at home, you're a Mosteller fan, you just want to go ahead and flip the back bumper of the 81.
Just a bop. You know, just a small little nudge.
But there's just that little bit of an air bubble. We just talked about the dirty air with them. You have to adjust to how you're driving. If anyone can penetrate it, though, it is that Coca-Cola Chevrolet. Sean Rowe, though, has been a nuisance to them. They have been 1, 2, 3 like this for a lot of the event.
If Sean Rowe is going to win this race, he's got to make it past these guys. The longer this run goes, the further and further his chances go down. He needs to get past Mosteller as soon as possible and start putting pressure on that 81.
They're the leaders. They're on your screen. Single file, deeper in the field. You see William Schmidt and others kind of just isolated. There must have been some massive stack up back there.
Or wave arounds, too.
Yeah, as well, where they just really have gotten separated. This is the big part of the night, this top 5.
Armstrong not pulling away just yet.
No, matter of fact, Mosteller has been able to gain just a 100th here, a 100th there.
He's got to put together perfect laps. Because if he has one misstep, that 99 is taking advantage.
I just don't think it's over yet, including when you have something like that. One car to the inside. That
He bumped him.
Counts.
Mosteller looked low. He bumped him. Didn't make it happen.
And Counts can't get off. Caution's going to wave.
And the dream night for him has turned into a nightmare as this race has won.
He's still stuck down.
Yeah, there's no way he's making it. Unless, of course, a caution comes out and lets him up. He's going to get lapped again.
Yeah, so that's kind of like, we call it the hellhole, right? Because there's not enough room to get back, but that apron is just enough where you can fit a race car. And when you get someone down there, the guys start coming around, they want to avoid it. That left rear is so bent up. I mean, you got to wonder, in Elodon Contreras, I think someone may have paid him back.
You can see it moving in the back of that car.
I guess right into Christian Delgado all on his own.
Pulled the Danica Patrick on that.
Yeah.
I think that was a smart move, though. Get out of the way.
You know you're stuck. Sit there.
Yeah, don't ruin the night for the guys who are running for the win, because that would have taken out the 81, 87. That would have taken out that whole line. Top 5 would have been clear.
There's Elodon Contreras. He was already on pit road prior to this.
Well, it looks like they're in the pits right now, or at least some of them are.
Elodon did have his own incident that occurred. Okay, 29 laps to go. Top 2, top 3, top 4, top 5. We've had it like this for a while. The biggest mover inside the Elite 8, I would say, is probably William Schmidt. Look at this. 29 to 6, currently in the 6th position. Don't count him out at all.
So I'm seeing some of the guys that were running up towards the front, DeAngelis and Leclerc, some of the others, like, there's been some movement. I'm wondering if some decided to pit and see if they can use fresher tires to make their way up really quick through the pack. Because it's the last time they pit, maybe 20 or so laps before.
Give or take.
So, give or take, we'll see if that kind of split strategy can make any difference.
Yeah, so DeAngelis is going to be 15th. Comstock's going to be 16th. Douglas Bigging will be 17th. And they'll get the one to go next time by. So 27 to go at the line, 26 to go when we go back green. And all getting ready to line up and roll out. For all the Florida 500 drivers, they do have a test at the conclusion of this race. A 1-hour test session with a trailer and just getting ready for the duels. All the viewers that have been hanging out with us all night, thank you so much to hang out on this Friday evening as a part of Speed Weeks. We'll be back tomorrow at 9 Eastern, 8 Central as we get ready to take on the Battle of the Beach before the duels at Daytona that Tuesday.
Lights are out. 81 low, 87 on the high side. John, it's going to be 26 to go. You're Sean Rowe. Do you make that move? You try and time the restart and jump?
110%. And he's not been able to move from that bubble, that third place positioning.
Gotta do something. See, watch when they enter 3 and 4. The leader each time has gotten that slight advantage where they cut that inside of the track, get that gap already built up, and then go.
Let's see how that rolls. Joe fires. Back green from USA.
And he did it again. Again, smart run on that restart. Rowe gonna try and make it happen. He's got the nose there. This is the furthest up he's been all night.
Does it stick? It does not. Mosteller advantage to turn 3.
But Mosteller's on the high side. He's gonna go up the track. And Rowe is gonna go up to the second spot. Mosteller fights back.
Oh man, they're really going at it, but this allowed Joseph Armstrong to get away. 2 around deep in the field. May have been Jackson Buys, ever counts maybe as well with Randolph. Fight for second, still on, and Sean Rowe is still not out of it in 3rd.
Yeah, if he were going to win this race, he had to get by Mosteller there. Mosteller in 2nd, now has half a second he has to make up on Armstrong.
Just deeper, Aiden Walker. Underneath the inside of that 67 of Matthew C. White. Yahir Rodriguez, Chase Kroll, and you still got Josh Salili who's fighting as well with Wilson, Murphy, DeAngelis. Half a second for Joseph Armstrong, 24, now 23 laps to go. Mosteller, you said it earlier, needs to be perfect.
Yeah, he has to because Rowe is going to stay right with him, and if he doesn't get by him, he's going to hold him up if he gets some kind of opening. It's a little bit chipping little and little away, but it's just, again, it's a swing, a pendulum, back and fourth between them. Mosteller has to break into the 0.3 of a second at some point to make any substantial move.
22, 21 to go this time by. And we're not seeing too much movement out of that second place machine.
I don't know. We just made up a 10th in the corner. Aggressive entry in the corner. He's made up a 10th.
Maybe it's not all done. Lot traffic. Christian Delgado, that will be ahead of the Joseph Armstrong 81.
John, I'm seeing it. Watch when he enters the corner. If he does it again, he's been wrapping it on that inside. Now he takes a bit of a higher line into the corner, diamonds it out. But in 1 and 2, I've noticed he's been basically wrapping it, the Kevin Harvick line, around that bottom line at the apron.
The car snaps loose when we were on that rear view camera. You saw Sean Rowe having to deal with it.
That's not going to help Armstrong. Delgado, lap car, holds up his momentum. Now under 0.3.
Oh, ho, ho, ho.
87 got loose.
And it's with 19 laps to go. The top two are just around 3 to 4 tenths.
Mosteller now has to find a different line, maybe. Again, we talked about dirty air being a bit of an issue.
White still in fourth. Walker still in fifth. There's William Schmidt inside. He's toe-to-toe with the 93. Yahir Rodriguez, they're all stuck in a bind, but that's where we've seen these yellows. One mistake, 2 or 3 guys get spun around. And you hear it there. Rodriguez up the speedway, gets into Chase Craw. Not enough to warrant a yellow, but puts him out of contention for a top 10.
Up front, Armstrong just kind of keeping a bit of that gap between himself and Mosteller. Now starting to grow it a little bit. Aggressive entry for Demos. He makes up about half a tenth, loses it on exit.
Moving lap for lap.
He's losing a little bit there, but this time he gained it. He's under 0.3 again. I think Armstrong had a bit of a bad entry.
He'll get to the line at a 3.28. It should be a net gain. They show 3.4 flat. And that's the thing. It's not consistent. It's not a consistent loss or a consistent gain.
I don't know. Mosteller's starting to get a little more gain here. He's now only a 1/4 of a second back. If he can get close enough, he can make that move into the corner.
Walker, New Bigging, Frank DeAngelis with Schmidt and Josh Lilly.
If you're Mosteller, you can't do any of that wait till right at the end stuff. You got to get past him now. Because Armstrong is only going to get better as the run goes.
15 to go. We said splash zone, 3/10.
He slid into the corner. That lost him a 10.
And we've seen these two perform the bump and run back and forth to each other before. We've seen it at Coda. We've seen it at Sonoma. And Joe one time just had enough come Richmond.
So if Mosteller can get it within that window, when do you think he should make that move?
I say right away, Jackson Byes slow on the bottom will bring it to pit road. I mean, there's no point of waiting.
But then run for dear life?
I just worry because, I mean, Joe is going to have the long run car. He has figured out the short run and already mastered the long run. You're in that gray area. If you're going to get to him, you got to do it. There's no way for you just to wait around.
What do you think is the perfect length of lead for Mosteller to have a shot even?
I mean, I say 3/10 is ballpark, but this is 3/10 now. I would say more than 2/10. If he's within 2, he can do anything.
Well, it's now 4.
You got to be at least 3 car lengths back to at least send up a heave. And I'm saying Austin Dillon heave at Richmond. I'm not just saying maybe a little thump in the back.
I mean, it's coming to 10 laps to go. Mosteller's starting to slowly fall away from that 81 machine. If you're going to make a miracle, you almost have to do it now or just accept you're going to be second. Makes up a little bit, loses it on exit. 10 laps to go.
This is the battle for third. Rowe on the outside, Matthew C.Y. on the bottom. Douglas Snoop Bigging brings it 3 wide. Gets in the way, but not enough to get him upset. Sean Rowe may have just lost 2 spots. No New Bigging's going to fade.
Out of nowhere, Douglas New Bigging, top 5 after what seemed to be a lost night, makes his way back up, going for that 4th spot.
And he's hauling the hay.
That's 7 to go. DeAngelis back up to 7th after restarting 16th, so maybe is New Bigging one of the guys in the fresher tires, maybe?
I believe he is. I mean, let's look at how he wraps the bottom.
he has any shot, he'd have to make it happen now.
And he's just hoping for a yellow. He's just hoping for something to go wrong. Half a second. 8 to go, will be 7 to go. We still watch the battle for third. New Bigging finds his way around white.
Spin to the back. Near spin, it's a save.
And that may have been Frank DeAngelis getting into Ada Walker.
And Frank got a net gain out of it up to the 6th spot. We could see that caution if someone wants to get revenge.
Let's go ahead and watch back on that replay. It was with Ada Walker in 93. I would say that was pretty deliberate. No doubt about it.
Yeah, just a little bit. Up front, though, lead has started to grow for Armstrong. 0.6 of a second, 5 laps left.
He's on 100 laps in this race. Who led the other 44? Oh, there's Daniel Mosteller. Should we say now 101 for Joseph Armstrong?
Look how much ground the 7 is made up. In the corner, he got it down to within 1.7. It's just, he's going to run out of time.
4 laps to go. New number, new scheme, new everything for Armstrong, but same Toyota. Came into the clash, didn't know if he was going to run well, didn't know if he liked the setup of it, didn't know if he liked just the whole idea of racing at USA. Quickly enjoyed it after the heats. And oh boy, did he have to fight strong. Talked about it in that meeting just with about 40 laps in, saying I can beat him if I can get the short run. Right now he's doing just that.
Yeah, he's got it pretty locked up. I mean, Mosteller makes up about a 10th on the entry. He's just sending it, hoping something sticks, something works. Not going to happen, though. 2 laps to go this time by.
And look at Douglas Newbigging, how much time he's made up.
Again, if he had maybe 15 more laps, this race is his.
Look at this lap for lap. Unbelievable.
Wow. Well, again, 1.2. But coming to the white flag this time by, it's all Joseph Armstrong.
Talladega, 1 to go in the NR Night Clash on iRacing.
That lap, oh no, Newbigging got in the wall. I was about to say that lapper got out of the way. He might have had a shot at Demos.
Final time down off turn 2. Starting speed weeks on a grassroots defunct racetrack in Lakeland, Florida, brings a winner that you know far too well. Joseph Armstrong will come off turn 4 to win the 2025 NR Night Clash at USA. Mosteller second, Douglas Newbigging, flawless strategy to come back up to third. And he's the first one to win in speed weeks.
A really dominant win at that.
That was pretty fun with all the heats.
Yeah.
The best part about it, these drivers get their ARCA Gen 4 ready for tomorrow. New Smyrna Speedway for the Battle of the Beach.
That's kind of going to be reminiscent of when we did the fairgrounds, and that was wild.
It was.
So, burning it down though, that 81 Armstrong victorious again.
No doubt about it. Always fun to see when he goes to victory lane. Gets all excited. Loves short track racing. Loves the grassroots side of things. And a win, nonetheless, is what you want to see. Tomorrow, race fans, just want to point out, 9 Eastern, 8 Central for what we call the Battle of the Beach. You'll see him in victory lane. We'll talk to your race winner in just about a matter of moments. But a community event goes to Joseph Armstrong. He just needs one more thing, and that's an e-ticket title. Armstrong, John Ramos, congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, we talked about trying to figure out the short run side. You're able to do it. How did you do it so quickly?
Well, I had to get a little physical with Demos there once I lost the lead. Because I knew I was faster, but apparently aero had kind of been an issue all night. and I just didn't want to experience it for any longer than I had to. And so, yeah, I was able to time a restart well enough to get to his bumper into 1. And then I think at that point the pressure was just kind of on him to not slip up. And he slipped up just enough to where I could get inside of him and just race it out. I didn't want to move him up the track or like wedge him up the track, and then just run him out of the groove. I wanted to kind of keep it fair and let him race it out. But after that, it was just kind of smooth sailing. Got to like half a second gap and just tried to maintain. And yeah, unfortunately we didn't get as much lap traffic there. I had one encounter with Delgado there with like 15 to go. That was a little iffy, but other than that, yeah, it was a good race. This is my second Clash win, or third, I guess. Maybe third.
You've won at LA before.
I did, yeah. I won at LA.
But you won that first one. That was the whole boo.
Yeah. The hack strong stuff.
The hack strong one.
I guess this one is a little bit cleaner than that. I mean, the second one I won, me and Demos kind of had an encounter there too. So yeah, 2 and 3 years, I guess.
That's
Happy
right.
to
You
be
won
back in
22,
relay.
23, and now 25.
Yeah.
Gavin Austin winning last year. Well, I think you're just the Clash King at this point.
Yeah, call me Joey Logano. Just winning every first race.
The short track racing.
Yeah. Demos knows. I told him. I'll get physical, but I'm not gonna get, I'm not gonna get dirty with you, but it ain't gonna be just smooth sailing for you. So yeah, he was pretty receptive. Demos is pretty clean. He's changed his ways, and it's always a pleasure racing with him. So yeah, glad we could battle it out tonight, and glad I could come out on top.
Congratulations on the win. What do you want to say to these viewers back at home?
Thank you for tuning in. If you're watching and not following me on Twitch, please follow me at Joe M. Armstrong _. That'd be greatly appreciated. I don't know if you're looking at my car right now, but there's like a little Easter egg under my Cup Series logo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Under the Cup No way. Are you serious?
Yeah,
Wow, that is awesome.
Yeah.
That's going to make relax yellows.
Yeah, so yeah, that's my little y'all can shout me out, I guess. Or I'll shout myself out one way or another. But yeah, fun night. I probably won't be running tomorrow, so I can't sweep the weekend, but looking forward to Tuesday, starting on the front row of that. We got a stacked field in Duel 2, so hopefully I can just kind of stay up front for that and stay out of the chaos and be there at the end and hopefully race my way into Friday.
Going to be fun to see Joseph Armstrong, race fans, his third Clash win in NR Night in America. And that's something we just did not talk about at all. Completely just out of the blue.
Blind spot.
Unbelievable. And we get to continue to talk to drivers. Moss Stellar, you come up short. Second Clash where you finish, I believe, P2. If that is the case, what else did you need?
I think I just needed a tick more speed. Unfortunately, Joe is just a little bit quicker than me, and despite having track position on him, towards the end, I just he gave me the bumper a little bit. Nothing foul. Just kind of overheated my stuff a little bit, and I started to grow tight, and he ultimately got by me. And after that, I just couldn't really do anything. But overall, fun race.
Fun race indeed. Congratulations, P2. We got Battle of the Beach tomorrow. We got the duels on Tuesday. Are you ready for those duels?
I'm excited. I haven't done any duels in here because I've always made it in off qualifying, so it's going to be new territory for me.
Oh, that is actually true. Well, another thing to add to the Moss Stellar lineup. Gonna be fun to see. Nonetheless, get some sleep. Actually, we got testing after this for the Florida 500. We'll possibly see you there. And we'll continue to run up and down the list. No Douglas Newbigging here for interviews. Maybe I'm wrong because his name is Demos in the Discord. Newbigging, flawless strategy to come back for a top 3.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't that flawless the way it ended up doing that strategy because it got wrecked and had to pit down pit road. But yeah, it was fun though, flying through all of everybody. Like 5 times I think I flew through the field, so it was fun though. I mean, I was kind of iffy on the setup going in, but yeah, it was great. I really enjoyed it at the end there. I was like, oh, okay, I vibe with this, I dig with it, so it was great. A lot of fun.
Heck yeah, congratulations. Battle of the Beach tomorrow. Duels for you that Tuesday. Excited?
Yeah, I'd say so. It's pretty exciting, I think I'm in Duel 2. I don't know, honestly, what I signed up for, but I'll be in them. I'll tell you how much. I'll be definitely going for a win. So we'll see. I should be starting up near the front with my. So we'll see. So I feel good. I feel like I won't mess up the finish or throw away a finish. I feel it this year. My year.
Your year. That's what we.
My year.
That's what
Bowman's
we
year
like to
too. He's
hear.
winning the championship.
Oh, you gonna put
On
money
right
on
now?
that, or are you just doing that word of mouth? Or did you get the
I already
script?
got. I did get the script, and yeah, let's just say maybe like 10 wins Bowman.
Okay, how many for you and e-tickets this year?
E-tickets? How many e-tickets are there?
We are planning on 12.
I'm gonna win 13. I think you're gonna make a new one, and it's gonna be when I win 12. I'm gonna say we need to do a Chili Bowl dirt midget like national race.
Oh.
And then you're gonna have to do it. That's what's gonna happen, I think.
Okay,
so
we'll go
I think there's
12
gonna be
for
13.
12 and then hit me up.
I will. It will happen.
Douglas Big, congratulations on your win. We're going to bring it back to our studios here in Nashville, Tennessee. Jarrett, I thought that was pretty fun.
Yeah, I had a blast, and I think, you saw a lot of the best guys up front. You saw some good surprises, some good stories, and it was a fun night. Should I tell them one of the fun parts from behind the scenes today?
Sure, go for it.
So you might notice that the mic, I'm looking at our end, doesn't look the same. Well, my mistake. I forgot the mic stand at home, so I had to. You'll have to talk here and tell them what I had to do so I can show them.
Just had to hold on to it. So there's a missing clamp on the bottom, and we clamp it to some of the desks. I always rework the living room every ticket. It's like a shake weight, honestly. So, oh, don't take that out of context.
Don't take that out of context.
Just say on a workout standpoint. Also, don't take that out of context. Anyways, part of Speed Week's always a lot of fun. Hopefully, everyone's enjoying themselves. But I'm surprised you just held on to it because, like, there's a part during the race I was like,
No, at one point I just like slumped into my seat. I'm like,
yeah,
all
I
right,
saw that.
Here
That
we
was
go.
pretty funny.
But nah, it was a great night. Regardless of any of that, I had a great time tonight. I can't wait for tomorrow night.
Tomorrow's going to be fun. So, for the ones that don't know, Bowman Gray will be having the heats, and I believe, no, the LCQ will be now on Sunday. So, tomorrow, Bowman Gray has its heats for the Clash. Because of that, we're moving the start time of the Battle of the Beach to 9 Eastern, 8 Central. We're not done tonight. The live stream is. If you want to join the Discord, link to that is in the live chat currently, because we are testing for the Florida 500 and the duels. A lot of work going on into the AM hours on our end, and we'll see you tomorrow night at 8 Eastern, 7 Central. The Clash was awesome. The Clash was exciting, and we can't wait to see you for the rest of Speed Weeks before the penultimate event, the Florida 500, just a week from today. I'm John Ramos. To my right, Jarrett Lumberg. Jarrett, thank you so much for coming out again and having some fun with us. To all the fans, we will see you tomorrow.